Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of The Grandstand here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, Eric, the Ohio Patriot. For today's episode, we're going to talk about Ohio's next speaker's race that apparently is going to be happening between current Senate President Matt Hoffman and first-term state rep Tim Barhos as of tomorrow, because sack of shit rhino fuckboy Jason Stevens, as of sometime yesterday, officially dropped out of the race, which is kind of interesting to me. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, you'd think, Stevens, the only reason he even got in there to begin with this time around was because he basically cut a deal with that piece of shit criminal Allison Russo, who, by the way, should be in Ohio prison right now for literally taking direct bribe from mom's man action in the form of a giant fucking envelope of cash the day that they were passing constitutional carry out of committee back in 2021. But of course, she was not even investigated for that fucking shit, which she should have been. She should have been investigated, she should have been arrested, etc., because she was definitely taking cash bribes from anti-gun groups, is what it is there. But yeah, basically, she and Jason Stevens cut a deal with each other, is what it was, to where every Democrat would back Stevens over Derek Marin, who should have been the last Speaker of the House. Here's what it was. Derek is, I don't know if they ever called the race between him and Marcy Kaptur yet or not. I'm going to go check that right now, actually, just to confirm if Kaptur cheated her way back into power again or not. So, let's see right here. Let's see. Got a video from. Let's see, we got 5 hours ago. Race narrows in Ohio's 9th congressional district. Last certification is expected Wednesday. So yeah, it's basically gonna come down to the 833 votes separating their asses. What the fuck, dude? There is no way that bitch is leading, by the way. For those who don't know who I'm talking about right now with Marcy Kaptur, dude, I'm going to go pull up a thing right here, this whole thing. This old bitch with the glasses on right there has been in Congress since 9 years before I was fucking born, dude. This woman's been in power for over 40 fucking years now, people. Since like the mid-70s, I believe, was when she got into office there. Or at least early 80s, one of the two. Maybe that's. Wait, am I thinking about her or am I thinking about DeWine? It might be DeWine I'm thinking about right now. Because DeWine started his career when that was 9 years before I was born then. Yeah, Kaptur's been in Congress since 1983, so 2 years before I was born. So yeah, this old bitch has been in power for 42 fucking years, dude. Almost. That's ridiculous, man. There is zero fucking reason for that to ever be a thing in this country, dude. You want to know why Congress is so fucked, dude? You want to know why our federal representation is so fucked up in this country? You want to know why our gun rights are so much under attack all the time? It's because you got old bitches like this who are fucking mom's man action piece of shit fucking criminals that keep getting reelected by dumbass fucking retarded Democrats who should not have voting rights in this fucking state or country for that matter. So yeah, it's time for Derek Marin's ass to take over there and fucking flip a seat over 40 fucking years, Democrat to Republican now is what it is. End of fucking story. So, but yeah, Derek should have been speaker here is what it is, but unfortunately, Jason Stevens went full piece of shit. Was able to have Russo and all the Democrats vote for him, and ended up being this whole situation where it was like, I think it was like 54, 44, something like that's what it was, or something in the state house and stuff. And of course, then they had the Blue 22, which was what they called the all the rhino sacks of shit that voted for Stevens for power there. And then, of course, it was basically predicated on the fact that he was going to give them fucking appointments and stuff in our General Assembly for various committee heads and like secondary people and stuff like that's what it was there. And then, of course, the reason we got nothing done this year at all, or even last year for that matter, is because sack of shit Jason Stevens decided to fuck around and keep like removing people from different committees, is what it was then, as vengeance and stuff against him not being voted for by these people, I guess is what it was, which again, that alone should have seen his ass removed from the fucking speaker's office and fucking pair of handcuffs, Larry Householder style is what it is there, dude. So, because it's all criminal shit at the end of the day. But yeah, thank God that fucking rhino sack of shit is not rerunning now. Because fuck that motherfucker. But yeah, let's talk about Tim Barhos and Matt Hoffman, obviously. Matt Hoffman, dude's breaking fucking term limits again because he simply jumped from our state senate now to our state house again, which should be illegal in itself right there because the dude, just like all these other motherfucking rhinos and Dems and stuff in this country, specifically in the state of Ohio, here's what it is. Keep doing this shit every 2 years now is what it is, dude. Every time one of these assholes gets termed out under the, I believe it was 2015 rule that we passed as a bunch of voters, to where you can no longer, like you basically get 8 years in one of the chambers and then get the fuck out kind of thing is what it is there. which the way that legislation should have been written is it should have been written as that, but it also should have had like a secondary rule on it where you cannot simply jump to the other side of the General Assembly and then run for office on that side then, because that's what they're doing. They're basically creating this fucked up caveat now to where as soon as they're turned out of one side, they just jump to the other side and become career politicians again is what it is. And it's like, this is exactly why people like me eventually here in the next couple of years are going to start running these fuckers out of town on the rails at this point, dude, and taking their fucking jobs and primaries and stuff like that's what it's going to be. Because I'm seriously to the point right now where when I move, I'll be moving to a different district congressionally right now. And I'm not so sure if Scott Olinger is termed out after this coming General Assembly or if he's going to be in there one more term now is what it is. But I'm seriously considering primarying his ass out for state rep at that point then. So as a real two-way candidate, as a real two-way champion, and then passing my own fucking agenda when I get in there for gun rights and, you know, First Amendment rights and stuff like that is what it'll be then. You know, actually be a constitutional oath keeper is what it is then. Bill of Rights oath keeper specifically is what it'll be. So, anyway, but, you know, only time will tell if I can actually get that done or not. It's either going to be that or I'm going to run against whoever is going to be the replacement for Janet Work-Reeton in the Stark County Commissioner's office. It's going to be one of those two positions I'll run for next go around in 26 there. So it'll be then if we actually make it to 26 though, because of course you got dickhead Biden the last couple of days being a fucking scumbag and announcing that he's going to basically give Ukraine the go-ahead to shoot missiles into fucking Russia, which I guess they did in the last day or so. And now you got Putin basically saying he's going to start nuking people that are NATO nations and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, that's fucking genius, people. Like, way to start World War III before Trump can get in there, you fucking scumbags. I knew there was going to be some shit going down like that, honestly, dude. Like, I just fucking knew it. And it's not surprising at all to see this shit. It's disgusting to see it, obviously, but it's not surprising to see it at all. So, from these pieces of crap in general. But anyway, so yeah, basically going back to, we'll circle back to Ohio Speaker's race. So I guess in the last, you had yesterday at some point, Stevens dropped out of the race completely. And then roughly right after that, Tim Barhos jumped in and was like, I'm going to run for speaker. And he's like, and everybody's like, wait, what? Because the dude is literally a first-term state rep. He's been in there 2 years now is what it is, dude. Meanwhile, you have Hoffman, who's been in there, you know, a bunch of time and stuff like that. So, I don't know. It all depends, too, because I know with this last election cycle and stuff, a lot of the Jason Stevens rhinos and stuff like that went for his ass, or the Blue 22 as they called them, they actually got primaried out by people who may be direct tied to Matt Hoffman is what it is. So, I think Barhos has an uphill battle no matter what if he actually will get in there and stuff. He, according to Chris Dorff from Hot Gunners and stuff like that, I guess Barhos is a pretty big 2A champion and has been like known to basically try to push for Second Amendment rights in the state house that is there this whole time now. He's been in office, which makes sense. Obviously, he came from the same area that Vitale was in. He actually took the seat that was being held by Representative Nina Vitale for, I believe it was about 8 years, give or take there. So Vitale was a real 2A champion. I'll tell you that right now. I can tell you that right off the top of my head right now, dude. And I was actually very pissed to see Barhos actually primary out Nino's wife for the seat. It was back in 2022 there because I was like, I really want to see Lily in there is what it was, dude, because I think she would have been just as much of a 2A champion as her husband was, if not more so. But of course, Barhos won that race and it became a whole thing. But yeah, as far as my understanding is, he's been fairly good when it came to, you know, defending our rights and stuff like that and our freedoms and whatnot. So, of course, it's kind of hard to do that when you have a scumbag piece of shit like Jason Stevens controlling the fucking various committees and who can do what and who can do anything and bring stuff to the House floor and stuff like that to even get it passed on the floor and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's basically all the stuff with SAPA, the Second Amendment Preservation Act, that Chris Dorr and those guys want to get passed, which I'm also on board with to a lesser extent is what it is, because my thing is, it's going to be really hard to even get that passed ever, just because of the fact you already have the Supreme Court ruling Missouri is unconstitutional and stuff like that. In the last couple of years, here's what it is. So for me to like have a bunch of time wasted doing that is kind of like a moot point at this point, honestly. Whereas you could easily be doing other things that are just as good, if not better, and getting that stuff passed in the interim is what it is there. And by that I mean stuff like legitimately having real constitutional carry, getting our fucking shit done the correct way to where we don't have fucking Terry stops and stuff like that in the crap, and we actually have it be lowered to 18 years old instead of 21 years old. Like, that's what I would like to see honestly happen with that. And then, of course, Same thing with stand your ground. Get real stand your ground in there. Don't get this fucking fake ass bullshit where if you have to shoot and kill a criminal in self-defense, their piece of shit family can then sue you for fucking wrongful death is what it is, which is absolute garbage entirely, dude. And there's nothing more than a way for, again, ghetto lottery bullshit to happen again in this fucking country. So I'm just so fucking sick and tired of all that crap too, man. It's so fucking infuriating. It's not even funny. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna so I was watching something on local, the 6:30 national news just popped on here in the background, and they were showing some dude holding an AR and like technology to like this. I don't know if it's supposed to be for school shootings or what the hell it's supposed to be for. Probably no one fucking left at this point. They're like, let's create technology instead of, I don't know, having fucking boots on the ground and armed teachers in the fucking schools and shit. You know, like that's the way to really do it. You fucking idiots. Like seriously, bro. Like, you want to stop kids being killed in school shootings, actually arm the fucking teachers and stuff. Like, they don't have teacher carry on the fucking thing, or have staff carry is what it is then. They don't have to be actual teachers. It could be, like, administrative people at that point, where it's, you know, like a gym teacher or fucking, like, some random principal or whatever the case be, armed. You know? That's the problem with these fucking clowns, though, is what it is they don't want to actually protect these kids. They just want to indoctrinate them with all kinds of woke ass bullshit and trans garbage is what it is there. So, which speaking of that, hold for a second, actually, you got this motherfucker named McBride, who apparently is going to be the first transgender in Congress now, and now you got Nancy Mace fucking losing her mind in some interview today, talking about how she was a survivor of a sex assault and stuff like that, and that she doesn't want this dude in with her is what it is. And it's like, well, first off, why are you going on camera and talking about that, Mace? Why aren't you saying, hey, here's the deal. We're not letting this motherfucker take office at all because he's a little earth brick and sack of shit who is now trying to sterilize children with trans drugs is what it is, dude. The same kind of drugs that, by the way, are used to chemically castrate pedophiles in prison. So, but of course they won't go that far because it's like most of them, dude, they're all fucking sacks of crap is what it is. I think somebody called me when I was in the bathroom there a little bit ago. Oh, no, never mind. That was from my doctor. Yeah, I guess they were supposed to have an appointment in February, and now they're telling me that the doctor's going to be out of fucking office that day, so I got to make a new appointment now is what it is. And it's like, for fuck's sakes, people. So, that being said, that is a good thing because it means now I know exactly when my appointment's going to be, so I got at least a couple months now to get my A1C level down to hopefully a good period there and be able to actually do some stuff there is what it'll be. So, which it wasn't even that high to begin with, but yeah, he's like freaking the fuck out and being like, oh my god, your A1C level went higher, we put you on these drugs now. And it's like, I'm not, and I told him straight to his face, I'm like, I'm not taking your shit, dude. Like, stop trying to be a drug dealer. Like, stop trying to push drugs on me, dude. I'm not taking that crap. Let's do this stuff naturally. But you don't want to hear it apparently, so you know, I've just been trying to naturally get my levels down with actual fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. That I've, you know, changed my diet again now is what it is because, you know, the fact that he didn't even bother asking me that stuff is kind of ridiculous when it would have been just as simple as him just saying, hey, like, here's the deal. Like, what's the deal, man? Why's your level going up? Is it something with your diet change? And it's like, yes, dude, for the last year I've been eating a bunch of crap. That's what it is. Like, you know, between the day that mom went into the hospital and then the day that she, you know, obviously passed back in January, I've been eating a lot of fucking processed food is what it is. So, apparently some Democrat congresswoman's transgender daughter was arrested. That's funny. Who is this person? Riley Durrell, 24-year-old transgender woman who identified by her birth name, daughter of Congresswoman Catherine Clark of Massachusetts. I don't remember hearing that name in Congress. Whatever, doesn't matter. Also, Trump made a terrible pick making Dr. Oz the fucking some kind of health dude or whatever now. Like, that was probably one of the worst picks he's made so far when it comes to cabinet picks, honestly. Especially when Oz has direct ties to Oprah's pedophile shit. So, Not to mention other crap where he's one of these fucking climate people is what it is there. So, I don't know. I think there could have been a lot better pick made in that one for that role specifically. Like I've said before, I think the problem with Trump is it's all a lot of nepotism bullshit is what it is. People shining his dick on. And he's too dumb to see they're just basically like jerking him off is what it is there. So, other than again, he also is jerking himself off with the Operation Warp Speed bullshit still. And it's like, maybe don't admit to fucking killing a bunch of Americans, dude, with fucked up drugs and stuff. So, anyway, it's pretty disgusting either way. But yeah, anyway, going back to what I was saying though with the speakers race here tomorrow is what it'll be. It'll be about 2:00 tomorrow, give or take. So I'll do another live stream tomorrow afternoon, probably like 4:30, 5:00 somewhere in there, depending when I get back and be able to get settled in and do some stuff. Then is what it'll be, and figure out like obviously finding out like what the deal is there is what it'll be. So we're gonna I'm probably gonna throw up Chris Doerr's Facebook feed from last night for a little bit here, or at least have that playing in the background then because him and that Rob dude that from Hot Gunners were talking about like who is Tim Barhos and who is Matt Hoffman and which one would be the better speaker, obviously. And I'm not sure. Like I know they were saying that Barhos has like, in the last couple of years like proven to be like sort of a champion for the Second Amendment. But it's kind of hard to do that when you can't get anything passed because it's, you got this wall blocking you is what it is there in the form of that idiot Jason Stevens, what it is there. So it's kind of like, is the guy really a champion or is he just like another, just random dude is what it is there? That being said, I think it's interesting that Barhos even tried to become speaker, given the fact that I know talking to my own state rep, Reggie Stolfus, is going to be out of office at the end of the year. Here's what it is. He was, because I even said that to him a couple years back now when we were talking on a phone call is what it was. And I was like, yeah, why don't you run for speaker is what it is. And this is obviously before the speaker's race in 22. There's what it was. And he was like, yeah, I don't have $1 million backing me is what it is. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you got to have at least $1 million worth of various campaign funds from various, like, essentially outside special interests, the way he was talking about it there, to actually have a shot at getting the speaker's race here in Ohio, which is absolutely ridiculous, dude. And again, it goes to show how our fucking system is so politically corrupt in the state right now is what it is. Because you're talking about people burning through having $1 million basically to shove into some dude's pocket so you can be a little bitch for 2 years is what it is there. So yeah, not fucking cool, man. And again, just shows, like I said, political corruption like crazy in the state. And I'm so fucking sick and tired of all of it, dude. Like I said, it was up to me right now, and hopefully it will be soon at some point, as long as I can get stuff done next year. I would like to see legislation put on the ballot at some point next year. That would be a twofold thing. It would be one county, one rep, and it would also include taking down our state house. Or basically, it would be basically, I don't know if would it be a twofold thing or would it be a trifold thing? Because it would be like step one, obviously, would be having our state house be lowered from 99 people to 88 people because it'd be one per county. Then is what it is. And that would be able to get rid of both Dems and Rhinos at that point. And then from there, it would be, we would be taking what is the current fuckery with everybody like flip-flopping the General Assembly all the time. That would be null and void then completely on that one. Because it would be once you're done in one chamber after, X amount of time, you're just done completely for at least a couple election cycles. And then after that, it would basically be just changing things around like they need to be changed around. So hopefully it would work out, but who knows? It's only a matter of time will tell, honestly, at this point. So, fingers crossed it does work out for us, but I have no idea if it will or not. If we can even get the legislation to the signature gathering and stuff like that, and be able to submit it in there and stuff like that is what really comes down to being right now. I think my Barrett's esophagus is doing some acid reflux on me again now. So anyway, but yeah, so essentially, like I said, you had Dorr and you had that Rob guy from OGO talking about the whole thing, and I'm going to go ahead and listen to those guys' stuff for a little bit because I got to go do something off camera for a couple of minutes. There's what it is. I got to take my meds is what it is. So Anyway. But yeah, so I'm talking about Barhos here.
Than going to the normal nepotistic political appointment system where they just pick people who are, I don't know, they mark the colors sometimes. Right. You know, they're a bunch of DEI hires and stuff like that.
Talk about Trump and the rhinos.
President Trump delivering right now in D.C. Tim Barhorse adopts that same mentality where, hey, he's like, hey, let's get the job done. And so he understands SEPA. He understands why it's important to pass it when we've got the votes. That's a big thing, and it's more than just his signature now on his.
So, okay, and that's another thing I got to talk about too right now. So there's a lot of fuckery going on in Ohio with this last election cycle. As we all know, you can go back and look at the whole hockey stick thing in 2020 there, where they obviously screwed Trump over and stuff. The Democrats knew they couldn't do that again at the federal level because it was too many people were watching federally. Problem is, not enough people were watching state races and like congressional races for federal seats and stuff like that, which is what Democrats did this time around. They did the same hockey stick bullshit at 2020, but at a congressional/Senate level, and then specifically at a state house level here in Ohio and a few other states too, for that matter, because what should have been a pretty much down ticket red wave here in Ohio, where we went from 67 state reps that were Republican to like over 70 at that point. We actually lost 3 seats in both chambers to the Democrats is what it is there, dude. In our state house, we lost 3 seats. In our state Senate, we lost 3 seats to Democrats. So we still have super majorities in both chambers, but just barely. Like pretty much you would have to have, like if Stevens wants to be a little bitch for 2 years now and basically be like with the Democrats and stuff like that and vote against like 2A stuff and stuff like that, that's fine. But you would essentially have to have like every other Republican vote with whoever's going to be the speaker at that point for 2A stuff to have the veto override powers and stuff like that is what it is there. Because if they don't, if we have any kind of House divided shit, it's not going to pass if DeWine vetoes it out or whatever then before 26. So, which that being said, wouldn't really be an issue and really shouldn't be an issue if I'm able to enact my other thing that I want to do right now, which is, again, big dreams at this point and hopefully somewhat come to fruition at some point in the future. DeWine needs to get fucking Article 162 out of office what it is right now. Same thing with John Husted. Both men need to be removed from office at this point in handcuffs for the various shit they've done. They should be in jail right now with Larry Householder because they have direct ties to the $60 million bribery scheme. They were actually part of that. They were being bribed by people when they ran for election in 2018 is what it was to pass that fucking bullshit that became, I believe it was issue 6, I want to say. So it was for the big oil companies and stuff like that and whatnot. And the thing about that is when you're doing direct bribery shit like that, you should not be holding office ever again is what it is. But then on top of that, then you got DeWine doing all kinds of other stupid shit now in the last couple of years. Crime against humanity charges should be another thing for the whole Vax-Million shit. I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but, there's a reason my mom doesn't exist anymore on this earth because of that motherfucker. And then you also have the most recent one being these fucking Fed boys that they call themselves neo-Nazis, but we're all other fucking federal agents because they've been outed in the last 2 fucking years now of being fucking undercover federal informants is what it is, dude. And dipshit DeWine's out there this past like Saturday, Sunday, whatever the hell it was that night, being all like, we won't deal with fucking white supremacy in Ohio. Yet meanwhile, you have all kind of anti-Semitic shit going on for over a year now down Ohio State's campus, where you have this group calling themselves students in Feticide, I believe is what it is, or in Fetidai, whatever it is there. It's like some kind of Palestine bullshit, but basically it's like, it's a bunch of anti-Semites, essentially is what it is down there, that like every week or so are at and around Ohio State's campus there, literally doing fucking marches about executing Jews is what it is there. And it's like, how the fuck are these people still walking free, dude? Like, why are they not being arrested for terrorism at this point is my question, honestly, if they're doing that shit for more than a year now is what it is. And that goes back to dipshit DeWine and company. And also Andrew Ginther as mayor of Columbus at this point, dude, because if he wanted to, he could easily arrest these fucking people for literally calling for the deaths of like millions of folks at that point, then obviously, dude. So, yeah, it's just real fucked up in general, dude. And I'm like so sick and tired of all of it. But anyway, hopefully this stream doesn't get knocked down. Just to be clear, YouTube, I am actually on the side of the Jewish folks. So they have a right to live just like everybody else does. They shouldn't be targeted for their religious belief system and stuff like that. And it's fucked up that you have these people that are like all pro-Palestine in our country right now who are literally siding with terrorist organizations in the form of Hamas, etc. there, dude. And nobody wants to call them out for the terrorists they are, dude. Like, literally, the definition of terrorism in this country, dude, is pursuit. Oh, what is it now? It's basically using like violence and intimidation to pursue the political aims. Is what it is, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go check to confirm on that one. Sorry, it took me a sec because my brain's not fully functioning right now. I just got up about an hour ago from a nap there. Yeah, unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians, that pursue the political aims is what terrorism is labeled as definition-wise. So you can't sit there and tell me that when you're literally calling for like genocide of people and stuff like that, that's not fucking terrorism, dude. And these people shouldn't be arrested on terrorist charges, or at least like inciting terrorism and stuff like that's what it is, or something like that. So, but anyway, that being said, going back to the whole speakers race thing, here's what it is with Chris Dorr and that Rob guy.
Handed a survey. He in his conversation.
They're talking about Tim Barhoff, by the way.
Conversations with me, he's articulated that he understands why we need to do it and when we need to do it. So that's a big deal.
Again, the problem is when you're losing 3 seats at that point, you pretty much have to lockstep the Democrats at this point, dude, and have a Republican backing you, or damn, whoa, 2 killed, 1 injured at Ohio house explosion. What the fuck? Where the hell did that happen? I gotta look it up now. Huh. Oh, it was in Bethel. Okay. Wow. That's the only thing about Ring doorbell cameras. If it wasn't for that shit now, dude, we wouldn't be seeing these crazy ass like things in real time there. Yeah, Tate Township, 2 people are dead. 1 person was taken to hospital after a house exploded and caught fire in Bethel, Ohio. 8:44 a.m. this morning. Wow. Crazy, dude. Yeah, there was nothing left of that fucking place, dude. It was just a bunch. It looked like a damn tornado hit that thing and then it caught fire is what it was. I don't know what happened with that one. Gas leak, propane explosion. Who knows, dude? Could have been anything. So probably the second one would be my guess. If it was heated with propane and stuff like that, it's probably a propane tank or something maybe blew up or something like that's what it was. Or it was like a natural gas leak or something like that in the place or something. And just, boom. Pilot light was out or something like that and then flipped on and just like kind of deal there or something like that. So who knows? I've often wondered about stuff like that, right? Where it makes like national news like that, or it's even just like state news and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, was this really like 2 people being killed in the house explosion, or was this just like cover to like murk some people out? Honestly, is what it is. Because if you really wanted to murk some people out and stuff like that, we're saying the things you didn't want people to know about, then it would make a lot more sense for that to be the case. So that being said, that's more my conspiracy side of my brain is what it is there. But yeah, I think probably it was probably just an actual natural gas explosion or like propane explosion would be my assumption there. But it's hard to tell anymore, dude. So anyway, yeah, going back full circle of the speakers race thing, here's what it is. We'll listen to what Dorr has to say about the thing with Barhost and then with Matt Hoffman then.
Rob, why don't you let's just do kind of a comparison here between these 2 candidates. So again, Matt Hoffman, how long has this dude been in office?
Yeah, so Matt Hoffman's been elected, I think he first served in the, I was reading earlier that he was the city council president of Lima City Council, I think for at least 7 years. Before he was even elected to the Ohio House. I want to say it was like probably right around 2000, 2001 was when he started his political career in the city of Lima.
So 20 plus years now.
He ran for the Ohio House in 2006 and was elected. He rose to a leadership position in the Ohio House back then, late 2000s, early 2010s. And then once his 8 years was up, he decided to run for the state Senate.
So he's already jumped ship once.
I think it was when did he get elected to the Senate? 2017, I think it was. He was elected to the state senate. He's been there ever since, and now he's attempting to flop back again. So, folks, for those of you who don't understand, even though we have term limits here in Ohio,
they're a joke.
They are a joke because there's nothing in the law against term limits that says that you cannot go back and forth between chambers.
And see, that is exactly the legislation I want to see passed next year as a actual legislative referendum kind of thing is what it is there. Which would be, like I said, be a twofold thing. It would be, the first half would be, we would drop the amount of people in our state house and our state senate down by 11 apiece at that point. You would have 88 reps for 88 counties, and you'd have 22 state senators, one for each of 4 counties, is what it is there. And then from there, you would, we would do away with that term limit bullshit where it's, or we would enact a better thing there is what it is for the term limit stuff. This is it being they could flip flop between the things. It'd be like, nah, bitch, if you're 8 years on one side or another, you're done after that. You cannot simply jump ship to the other side is what it is there. And the reason I say that is because even looking back at the last 3 election cycles right now, there is at least 10 to 15 people right now in the Ohio General Assembly that should not be there anymore. And I would say it's at least probably half and half at this point, Democrats and Republicans. Like last time around, I think it was like maybe like 3 or 4 Democrats. And then it was like 4 or 5 Republicans winning the last go around. And then before that, it was like 6 or 7 Democrats and like 2 or 3 Republicans or something. So it's all kinds of shady shit, basically. But it's definitely something I want to see changed up come 2025 here is what it is. So anyway, but yeah, going back to what Chris Dorr and that Rob, I forget the guy's last name is, we're saying there for OGO.
So people like Matt Huffman, and there are plenty of other ones up there. But trust me, that they will just kind of pick a buddy, and they'll one of them will be in the House for 8 years, one of them will be in the Senate for 8 years, and they'll just kind of flip flop back and forth to try to maintain themselves in state government in perpetuity.
By the way, I don't know about who Hoffman's was this time around, but I know one of the sets is Scott Ollinger and current state senator Kirk Shearing. They've done that shit a couple times now is what it is. And that's one reason why we need to get both those assholes out of office completely is what it is there. Jesus Christ. Fucking anti-gunner shit that the CBS News is putting out right now. They're showing these dumbass fucking chamber door things that they created or something that somebody created. That's supposed to be like a bulletproof door thing you could just like pull out of the fucking wall essentially. And I was actually looking into that one time a while back now. So those things cost like $50,000 a piece or something crazy like that, dude. And yet, meanwhile, you could easily spend a couple $100s on a firearm and some ammunition, and you just simply have the people being good like that is what it is, dude. Or, I don't know, maybe actually treat our fucking schools the way they need to be treated, which is like banks and politicians do, where they're protected by fucking armed security, you dickheads. That would be a way to stop the shit immediately. Or maybe fucking charge the goddamn mainstream media that every fucking time they create one of these mass shooters, because they do 24/7 news coverage on the last asshole, maybe charge them with fucking actually creating the next one is what it is then, because they're pushing this crap 24/7 being like, oh, hey, nut job person over here, you want to be fucking famous and you want to be getting your name out there and make a legacy for yourself, even though you're going to be dead and stuff like that. Okay, cool. Just go do another one of these fucking massacres. Like, seriously, how the fuck is the mainstream media not being held accountable for that shit at this point, dude? It makes no sense at all. It makes absolutely no sense at all. And like I said, it's still fucking retarded bullshit. That's what it is, dude. But anyway, going back to this hog gunners thing is what it is right now. Because I'm going to go over and take my shot momentarily is what it is. So.
But yeah, he's been in elected office at least in Columbus since 2007 consecutively.
Yeah, he's talking about Hoffman.
So he's been there for pathetic. Yeah,
ridiculous.
That's pathetic. We
fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
17
again,
fucking
folks,
years.
This is why term limits is such a crock, because
the
establishment uses that system to protect the establishment.
Yep.
Because
Of course
when they codified term limits, they made sure that the worst of the worst rhinos were protected and able to stay there in perpetuity.
Yeah, it's
So
also
they
the
went out
biggest
and
piece of shit
sold it
Democrats
to their
too.
voters as some kind of an upgrade for the state of Ohio. But what they really use term limits for is to make sure that rock solid Republican conservatives, people like Ron Hood and Tom Brinkman and John Becker and people like this, they term out. So no matter.
It's funny that he said conservatives because what he's really talking about is the Pro 2A guys that were in our state house and state assemblies when it was there. Which, yeah, Ron Hood was a Pro 2A champion. If actually, technically, if you look back at it, with Ron Hood, who ran for governor in 2020, that's actually who I voted for the primaries then. If it wasn't for Ron Hood and Candace Keller back in, I believe it was 2014, 2016, somewhere in there, if it wasn't for those two people doing stuff together and trying to get 2A legislation passed through and stuff, we would never have constitutional carry now is what it is. Because it took those people basically starting it. And then it was essentially Brinkman and Chris Jordan, who is unfortunately passed away now is what it is. He was replaced by, I forget who it was offhand right now. But yeah, it was those two guys that basically got it past the finish line, and they were the ones that were responsible for actually getting constitutional carry passed in the last General Assembly is what was there. So, and it sucks because now Tom Brinkman, who, by the way, what's funny about Tom Brinkman too, even is the fact the guy's not even a gunner in this state. He's admitted that actually. But yet he'll still fight for our Second Amendment rights, which is even crazier to me because it's like, yeah, the fact you're not even a Second Amendment enthusiast at that point, gunner or whatever the case be you want to call it at that point, and the fact you're actually willing to step up and be an oath keeper and defend our Second Amendment rights is huge in my opinion, honestly. So, but yeah, like I said, it was the loss of Chris Jordan was probably the biggest loss in Ohio's General Assembly in the last, I would say, 20 years or so, just because of the way he died out of nowhere is what it was. And I don't know. Some people were saying it wasn't, but it could have been that he was just exposed by somebody else as what it was or something, dude. Because, just because he may not directly taken the shit, it could have been somebody that was just, shedding off on him, if that be the case then. Since those fucking Democrats love that bullshit. So, anyway. We haven't talked about that yet. So, we'll talk about that momentarily, actually. So, JD's Senate seat right now. There was talk, I guess, a few months ago that the reason that JD was picked instead of Vivek as Trump's VP nominee is because it was going to be Vivek Ramaswamy being given a nod by DeWine as a basically appointed person to that U.S. Senate seat as what it was after JD took office as the vice president. That being said, now I don't know if that's changed or not because I know Trump made the announcement that Vivek and Elon Musk are going to be doing that Doge thing. But then again, it could be a situation too as well where it might be that Vivek is like starting to do that or whatever, but then he actually gets picked for the U.S. Senate seat is what it is then. And then he just simply is part of like a committee or something would be my guess at that point that Elon Musk would obviously be part of as well for that matter as like the main dude in charge there and stuff. And it would be like some kind of committee thing that they would be working on together or something like that then with Vivek as a U.S. Senator at that point then and Musk being the actual head of that Doge organization or the Doge federal agency is what it is there. So I'm hoping that's the case, but I could be wrong. But yeah, the problem is right now, if there's not going to be Vivek, dude, there are so many fucking rhinos in the state of Ohio that could easily be taking that seat, unfortunately. You got Matt Hoffman's piece of shit, or not Matt Hoffman, you got Matt Dolan's piece of shit ass, who is a total fucking scumbag piece of crap. We should be in Ohio president right now for pushing anti-gun legislation as a Republican there, which we know he's a fucking fake ass rhino anyway, because that piece of shit legitimately back in 2020 was trying to do misuse of position personal gain is what it was back then, where he was trying to misuse his state Senate seat and the committee hearing chair that he was at the time in the state Senate to basically push anti-gun crap in the form of what was Senate Bill 357 at the time. And it was basically to create like all kinds of backdoor fuckery and Hitlerian gun rosters and stuff like that is what it was, if I recall correctly. So, yeah, just absolute complete scumbaggery is what was there. And then you've had other people do the same kind of sick, disgusting stuff over the last few years now, too, for that matter. And thank God Dolan's going to be gone in a couple of years then, for sure. Which, I'm sorry, but like, if you're going to be running for higher office, like whether it be in the form of him trying to run for, actual Congress here in 2022 and a primary and stuff like that, like, dude, get the fuck out of the state Senate is what it is, bitch. Like, there really needs to, like, that's the one thing I would love to see with Ohio, is that we actually become a resigned to run state kind of thing is what it is there, like Florida used to be with DeSantis and stuff before he changed the rules there for governorship. Because my thing is, it's either go all in or get the fuck out is what it is, dude. It's like either be all in the race, be there, do your thing, try to run for, U.S. Senate, whatever it is at that point, or shut the fuck up and stay where you're at as a state senator is what it is then or something, dude. Like, there's no in between, bitch. Like, it's either one or the other, motherfucker. And it's the same thing with everything else. Like, if you're going to, and I would say that across the board right now, federally is what it is too, for that matter, is how it should be. When you got pieces of shit like Elizabeth Warren back in 2020 who were trying to run for the presidency, it's like, okay, cool, then get the fuck out of the U.S. Senate, bitch. Like, resign from office there is what it is. Like, that's how it should be. If you're going to run for a higher office than what you're currently holding, then get the fuck out of the lower office. It's that simple, honestly. It's not that hard to figure out, man. So, anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty fucking sick and tired of all these fucking people is what it is, though. And like I said, going back full circle there to what we were talking about with Hoffman, you basically have these people that are trying to fuck around and screw over all of us in the long run just to push their own crap forward is what it is there. And we're all sick of it, dude. We really are. Like, enough is enough of it. It doesn't need to exist. It doesn't need to happen. And yeah, it's just enough. Enough is enough, dude. So anyway, but yeah, I'm pretty fucking fed up with all of it, dude, is what it is. And like I said, when I'm looking at my own state house, I'm looking at my own state Senate and stuff like that, my own General Assembly here in the state level is what it is, and seeing how corrupt it is, and like knowing that I potentially could fix it if I had money backing me right now, obviously, which I don't currently, we'd be so much better off is what it is, dude. And I think I have found some people right now, obviously locally, that potentially could back me for at least a single race anyway. And that's all it would really take, honestly. It would take that to because that's the thing, right? Like, you look at your AOCs, your other folks like that on the left and stuff, or even like these MTGs and fucking Boebert types and stuff like that, dude. If I get into office, I would be one of the loudest motherfuckers out there, and people would know my name within like a month or two, and they would be backing me for whatever after that. Then I could literally have the fucking coffers be opened to just individuals at that point across the state, to where people will be backing me financially, is what it is, $10 here, $20 there, etc. And it wouldn't be something where I'm indebted to like, a bunch of multimillionaires or something like that is what it is, which unfortunately right now is exactly what I have to basically be doing to get in office the first time around, would be essentially cut a deal with some multimillionaires to back me politically is what it is. Which I've said before, I'll say it again, dude. I will not like, so here's the deal. I'm going to make an actual thing right now. If you ever see me clean shaven, if you never see this beard gone and I'm completely clean shaven, dude, I've sold out. I will admit that right now, because I will never willingly shave my big ass beard down. I mean, I might trim it a little bit, like, because I was thinking about it recently, because it's kind of, out of control right now a little bit there. If I ever do anything, I'd like trim it down to about right here, give or take, and make it a little bit more presentable for like appearances and stuff like that. But I would never fully shave, is what it is, because I just look weird without a beard, is what it is. And so yeah, if you ever see me completely clean shaven, or even just like mustache only or something like that, like, some shit's gone down, and I'm not to be trusted at that point. So I will admit that to everyone right now is what it is. So anyway, what the hell? Huh. Jesus Christ, dude. The lines we cross we have for tomorrow morning is now, because it usually is like the last few hours of the event. Now it's going to be fucking 5 a.m. in the morning now. Good Lord. Like, really, people? Come on. Like, you realize most of us live here in America, where it's like, we can't be part of shit at that fucking time unless we're, like, setting alarms and shit to be awake. That's just ridiculous. But anyway. But not for real, though. But like I said, I would never willingly shave my beard down. And so if you ever do see me, like, clean shaven and stuff like that, you know something has happened. And you know I'm not to be trusted at that point for anything. So, because I've definitely sold my soul to probably the devil at that point, honestly. But hopefully that never happened and I could just do anything to do is what it is. Because the thing is, like I said, it's not like I couldn't do, like, fake deals with people and be like, oh, yeah, I'll totally pass this agenda for you. And then as soon as they give me the money, I get into office, I'm just like, what do you mean, dude? I didn't say anything to you about that. Kind of a deal. So, I don't think I'd have to, though. The people I've been talking to that have the money is what it is to financially back me. They're pretty good people, and we're kind of on the same side when it comes to what needs to be done here is what it is. And get rid of bulk corruption in the state house is what it is and whatnot. So, I think they would be fine with just giving me some money for the campaign is what it is or whatever. Probably not like, a couple $100,000 or something like that. Maybe like, a few thousand anyway, which again, if I could get even like a few $1,000s from them, maybe like 10,000 or so, give or take. I think that'd be enough to take down like a state house seat or take down like a county commissioner's office or something like that's what it would be then. Because those races are not that bad actually, and financial wise. Well, I mean, I think the state house would be more so, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I think for the most part there it would be, what was I saying now? Yeah, I think for the most part there it would be just, oh, crap, I lost my train of thought right now. Damn it. Now I can't think of what I'm saying now. Yeah, it would basically just be just enough to basically get in office is what it is. And then eventually, like I said, nothing else, use that, next couple of years that I'm in power and stuff like that to essentially start, making waves and stuff like that enough to where people locally, et cetera, would back me financially for a re-election run as what it would be then or something. So at that point, it'd just be the everyday people that would be like, like, here's $5 for your campaign, here's $10 for your campaign, et cetera. And it would be those like small, like nickel and dime donations that I would get from everybody that I could then turn into like actual, decent sized coffer to do stuff as what it is there and be able to get reelected into office then and hopefully be, better off for everyone is what it is at the end of the day. So, but yeah, basically my long-term plan right now, when I run for office, it'll either be, I'm either going to do one of two things, which is basically, depending on where I end up, here in the next couple months for when I move, whatever congressional district that is in, the state level, I'll either be still running for county commissioner or I would be running for some state rep seat in 26, one of the two. And then as long as that worked out and I could take down that seat of power, then it would basically be do that 2 times in a row, potentially, or technically, I guess in that case, it would be if I go, I'm trying to think now, because if I would be able to take down a state congressional seat and be a state rep, it would be, I could basically be there for, I think, 8 years, if I'm not mistaken, before I could run for like an empty governor's race is what it is there. Because that's the problem right now. Depending on who becomes governor in 26, it would be really hard to primary an incumbent governor in 2030. And so I'd basically have to wait to take the governor's roll down potentially until 2034 is what it is then. And so I potentially could be like a state rep for those 8 years, or I could do like 2 terms as a county commissioner, even for that matter, from like 26 to 2034 is what it is then. And it would be either one would be like, like really the first time would be hard to get in there is what it is. But then if you're able to get in there and keep getting back in, then it would be, you know, I'd at least learn enough in that 8-year time span of like the true corruption, the true fuckery, etc. Be able to hopefully get rid of that stuff at whatever level I'm at right now is what it is. And then potentially walk into the governor's office as like a front runner in 2034 is what it would be then, and be able to, you know, be like the most constitutional governor ever in the state of Ohio is what it is for the last couple hundred years is what it would be then. So, and then do that for, you know, hopefully 2 terms is what it would be then. And then basically by 2042, I would be an ex-governor. I would be an ex-state rep or state county commissioner, whatever it is there. And I would just be doing my own thing at that point then, as that person then is what it is. And that would be the whole amount of time I'd be in office at that point then. Would be that, you know, 16 years, give or take. And then walk away and be able to possibly retire after that as a, you know, an ex-governor, hopefully is what it would be, and have enacted a bunch of good stuff as governors would be then. That would be, you know, oath keeping and be able to do a bunch of good stuff to, you know, help our Second Amendment rights here at a state level even more so, and arrest a shitload of these fucking criminal ass Democrats out of office, etc. So, and the same thing with the Rhino Sachs and shit too, for that matter, because that's one thing I would definitely do as governor. I would clean fucking house like a son of a bitch, dude. Like I would probably be the first governor of Ohio's history in the last like 100+ years that they would try to impeach on like the first 72 hours, honestly, because I would be going in there full steam ahead kind of shit and basically just trying to arrest everybody's ass out of office at that point for the crimes they committed already is what it is. So, but yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, unfortunately, it would have to be like the thing is too, with that 8-year time span that I would have too, for that matter, to do stuff. I could also start making inroads with other people outside of the actual spectrum of, you know, the current fuckery in our state general assembly is what it is there, and essentially find good people that are constitutionalists like myself is what it is, that potentially could run for these various seats of power then and be my team of folks at that point, you know, whether it be my lieutenant governor pick, whether it be a bunch of people that would be in the state house and state senate, et cetera there. And it would basically be just like this giant primary team that would make up of people across the state then that we could hopefully get together and take down a whole bunch of seats of power together is what it is there, and enact our Second Amendment agenda to be making Ohio one of the best Second Amendment states at that point then. And the same thing with being a pro-life state at that point too as well, because we would definitely get rid of that fucking bullshit, unconstitutional fucking baby killing crap that the fucking Democrats put in about a year and a half ago, give or take now. So, which by the way, how that was ever able to make the fucking ballot at all is beyond me, because the fact it directly defies Article 1, Section 1 of the Ohio Constitution about life. So that alone makes it completely unconstitutional and null and void at that point. So anyway, but yeah, going back to what Chris Dorr and that Rob guy from Ohio Governors were saying about Barhost and Hoffman here, I'm going to let this roll for a few minutes because I got to go off camera and do a couple things right now. So we'll just let them speak, and I'll. By the way, I want to point something out there. Don't try to ding me, Door, because this is fair use, bro. You put the fucking stream out there, dude. I'm just simply using your stream as reference and discussing various things about it that I did not know about maybe Barhost or Hoffman up to this point. So,
or how bad they have to fight against those conservatives. Those conservatives are a bunch of knuckle draggers who are always trying to drag the conversation.
What he's talking about right there, going to that whole thing, going back to what we were talking about earlier with that, he was basically, they were discussing term limits with how Hoffman and all these guys break term limits constantly is what it is. And you got people like Brinkman, et cetera, getting booted out after 8 years because they don't have a person in the state senate they can just simply flip-flop with is what it is there.
Over to the political right, the establishment at least knows that every 8 years those people are going to get culled out and replaced by another establishment hack.
Most likely.
So that's how that system has been weaponized against us.
Such bullshit.
Matt Huffman's been in the Ohio General Assembly since what now? You said like 2007. 2007.
Ridiculous. He's been in leadership for I think the last couple of years he was in the House, he was in leadership, and then he's been in the leadership in the Senate since 2019.
Jesus.
So, obviously he wants to be Ohio House Speaker and be in leadership there. So this guy, he obviously loves power.
Yep.
He wants to be in leadership wherever he's at.
Yeah. So, yeah, these kind of people have aborted the term public service, and they've bastardized it, and they totally use it to advance themselves politically, and that is their number one goal. They don't care about policy. They don't care about you.
So I do want to point something out with what they were just saying there about Hoffman and company. So my biggest problem, and this goes back to the whole one county, one rep thing, Hoffman won an uncontested primary, and he also won an uncontested general election. As soon as that guy ran for district, I believe it was 78, he was in power. Because there was nobody running as a Democrat. There was nobody running as independent against his ass. And as far as I'm aware, there was nobody in the primary against him either, for that matter. Although that might be a thing where it was somebody trying to primary him, but they obviously couldn't afford to get in there enough to do so. But yeah, so basically you had at least two of the three that I just mentioned being legit. And that's the problem right now, is you have these people who basically have congressional districts that shouldn't exist in the state at all, because it's the same thing with Democrats too, for that matter. The first two state house races this year for districts 1 and 2, which are currently held by Dontavius Jarrells and Letitia Humphrey, respectively, they were uncontested fucking general elections, dude, and uncontested primaries and shit like that. And it's like, why do these fucking seats even exist at all, dude? When those and like 9 other seats are in Columbus/Franklin County proper is what it is there, and you can have one fucking seat there is what it is. But instead, you have like 9 fucking seats. They're all Democrat run, is what it is, dude. It's absolutely disgusting and ridiculous, is what it is. And that goes back to the more corrupt bullshit in our fucking state house, is what it is, dude. It's like Alice Rose's bitch ass. She ran for fucking office this year again. Uncontested fucking general election is what it is, dude. And it's like, again, when you have a one-horse race, it's pretty fucking easy to win a goddamn one-horse race. All you gotta do is be on the fucking track running, dude, is what it is. And that's the entire point, is you shouldn't be in fucking office after that, is what it is, because you do not beat anyone for the fucking race, you stupid fucking cunts. So, and that's pissing me off about Hoffman too, for that matter. Like, neither him nor Russia should be in power now, is what it is, dude. Just based on that shit alone is what it is. So, anyway.
You and me, they care about getting reelected and keeping their hands on the levers of political power, like Ohio Political Action, whoever that is in the comment section just said Scott Wiggum. He's another one of those state representatives who is a rock solid fighter for conservative issues, but now he's being taken out because of term limits and being replaced by somebody who isn't even close to what battle tested Scott Wiggum is. So we've got Senate President.
By the way, I believe Wiggum was either a Desert Storm vet, or he was like the 2008-ish like Iraqi war vet. I think is what it was, one of the two. I can't remember. I think it was Desert Storm, if I'm not mistaken, or around that time period of history, maybe just after that, like maybe. Because I was thinking, I was like, he's not Vietnam. He's not old enough to be Vietnam. Yeah, I want to say it was like Desert Shield, Desert Storm, maybe, is what he was part of. I know he's a combat vet. I know that for a fact. And that's by the way, that's the biggest thing I've noticed too, with a lot of our General Assembly here in Ohio, is the guys who are Republican who are combat vets are the ones who are super pro 2A for the most part, whereas the people like your fucking Casey Weinstein douchebag Democrats who want to sit there and be like, well, I'm a military vet too. It's like, no, bitch, you were a fucking lawyer in the military. Huge motherfucking difference. You never saw a fucking day of combat, asshole. You never even probably did a fucking tour of any kind of combat shit. You probably didn't even do fucking basic training on the fucking gun range, you fucking cunt. So, of course, you're going to fucking hate yourself and do all kinds of shit like that, which, by the way, again, going back to Weinstein's bitch ass, who is now going to be, by the way, one of the 3 Democrats that took back power in the state Senate, for that matter. Another fucking sack of shit Democrat who shouldn't be in power ever again now, and is completely breaking term limits to get back into power. There's what it is. So, yeah, Weinstein's ass needs to be fucking gone. He needs to be one of the people, many people, honestly. If anybody's out there in his district, dude, for that Senate district and stuff, please, God, enact Article 1, Section 2 against that son of a bitch come 2025, because we need to be able to recall these fuckers from office at this point in time in history, honestly, and get rid of their fucking asses permanently is what it is, dude. and put them in prison where they belong for different laws what it is there. So anyway, but going back to what Dora was saying here, this whole stream that Dora was doing was about another 20 minutes or so. So I don't know if we're going to stay here that long or not, but I will go ahead and play the audio for this whole thing, though.
Matt Huffman coming in for quite a while there, Rob. He was the guy who was talked about by a lot of people as the answer to this problem that we had with Jason Stevens getting elected by a majority of Democrats and a minority of Republicans.
Right. Not even just a majority of the Democrats. Every single Democrat voted for Jason Stevens for Speaker.
Right. And now, and this is what is so insufferably, enraging to me. I saw a clip and I saw a news article just a little while ago that said that Matt Huffman himself was now in talks with the Ohio House Black Caucus.
Right,
Every single one of them are Democrats. Yep. They didn't let Josh Williams, a conservative Black Republican representative, they didn't let him into that caucus.
Of course they didn't.
They kept him out because and that doesn't fit the narrative.
Right.
But there's Matt Huffman going right back to the same problem that we had before, going back to the Democrats to try to get elected. So that's a big bad problem, don't you think, Rob?
I mean, yeah. I don't think the Democrats are definitely not. I don't think there's a single pro-gun Democrat left in Ohio.
No, there's not.
No.
So I find it, I don't think that bodes well for gun rights at all.
Yeah. So if you're sitting there wondering, just give us some more information about Matt Huffman. Let's do that for him. Rob, how many times have you and I personally, I know I myself have been at the State House many times without you even, but how many times have you and I together, while we're there on a House committee or a Senate committee or something like that, how many times have we gone up to the Senate President's office right down the hall there from the Senate chamber and requested meetings with Huffman himself?
Oh, at least 2 or 3 times at least. I've been with you. We've gone right up to his office and said, knock, knock, knock. Hey, we'd like to talk to the president. And they kind of just shove us off to the side and say, sorry, he's too busy or he can't right now, or with no indication of any kind of, hey, we'll work this out in the future. We'll get you guys in. Nothing. It's just always, hey, beat it, scram. We don't have time for you today.
Yeah.
And that's been the way it has been.
And
fortunately for Matt Huffman, he's been allowed to let that slide because we have been focused on getting legislation out of the House chamber. But now he wants to come over to the House chamber and run the whole place.
Right.
And by any measure, the House of Representatives is the far more conservative body in the 136th General Assembly, which we're about to kick off in January. So, so it's a big fat problem. Rob, if you've been with me for 3 attempts to try to meet with the speaker, I bet I have personally gone to that desk or sent text messages or walked down that hall and requested meetings on behalf of our membership with him or with his legislative staff. I bet I've done it 15 times. If you and I have done it 3 times, I've done it 15 times.
Right, and I've even made not personal calls, but calls on behalf of Ohio gun owners to his office, and have not gotten any return phone calls whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the point here, folks, that I want to make to you is that Matt Huffman does not take his responsibility to advocate and fight for the Second Amendment with any kind of sincerity whatsoever. To him, we've talked about this for years now here at Ohio Gun Owners. To him, Republican gun voters are simply a poker chip to be played when it's convenient for him.
Right.
By any measure, we are the state's largest gun rights organization. We have far more of an aggressive and active membership in every single county in the state. And there's him with his ridiculous spokesperson. What's his name? Courtney or something like that?
Courtney, I think Dave
Courtney,
right?
Courtney Kardashian. I don't know. That's about the brain power that they've got over there. But they have refused to meet with us time and time again. And honestly, he's been allowed to do that because we had bigger fish to fry at the time. But that is how nonchalant he is with the Second Amendment. You didn't keep in mind, we just went through 4 years of the biggest attacks on our gun rights in anybody's lifetimes, including anybody in the Ohio General Assembly right now.
Right.
And he didn't want to do anything. He
Right,
didn't want to do anything. In fact, they never pushed a bill out of that body by themselves without it first being pressured by the House side.
Right. That's pathetic too, by the way.
Constitutional carry or permitless carry, stand your ground law. And actually going back to House Bill 228, and he wasn't the president then; it was Obhoff back then. Right. But these guys sat
Larry
there
Obhoff
and
is
let every
fucking
single
ridiculous
bill
piece of
get
shit.
watered down, and never held the line against House Republican moderates who were also trying to water bills down. So
which, by the way, that is exactly why Terry stops exist in our constitutional carry law now. That was ironically enough, was the Senate bill that became the law of the land there in 2022. And it was, you literally had and I want to point out, by the way, this is why I fucking hate the NRA, and you can go fuck off, you NRA pieces of shit out there trying to buy off state reps. You motherfuckers did absolutely goddamn nothing for a fucking year and a half. Well, I was on the fucking phone for over a year of my life. Talking to state reps, talking to state senators daily. When are you guys getting this out of committees? When are you guys getting this to floor votes? When are you guys getting this to Dwine's desk, etc.? And you're talking 6, 8, 10 people a fucking day for a year. I just kept bugging these people. I put in so much fucking work. So much of my time that could have been spent on other things, by the way, to try to fight for Second Amendment rights for Ohioans is what it is. And then these fucking cunts from the NRA walk in the last 2 fucking days of the time that constitutional carry is up for fucking votes and shit. And they're like, oh, DJ Swearingen, would you like to add Terry stops to this on the House side? Oh, yes, I would. And by the way, Swearingen is back in office now again for another fucking go around. Fuck that guy, by the way, personally. And then, you had it fucking flip over to the chambers and the state senate there is what it was. And you had Terry Johnson, who had enacted the Senate version of it or whatever, basically had them codify the fucking Terry stop bullshit and the whole thing is what it was. And that directly, by the way, fucked over, I believe it was a 19 or 20-year-old kid then after the fact, a couple years back now, where it was either the end of 2022 or early 2023, back when I'm trying to think what that show is called now. It used to be Live PD, and then it became that's what it was. OP Live is what it became. You had it; they were doing Toledo as the cops down there and stuff like that. And by the way, let's talk about Terry stops for a minute. There, how unconstitutional those fucking things are. So literally, you can go to a car dealership around this country right now and buy a vehicle that has window tint automatically in it, and it's now considered to be quote unquote too dark for the cops to see what you're doing inside. So that gives them legal grounds to stop you and do a search of your vehicle somehow. And because of that shit, you had this kid that was busted with carrying constitutionally at 19 or 20 years old is what it was. But because you had to be 21 and over, he now became a fucking felon. Under mishandling a firearms and motor vehicle is what it was the charge they hit him with there. It's absolute bullshit, is what it is. And I'm fucking sick and tired of it all. So that's exactly why I'd love to see constitutional carry become 18 and over at this point for that exact reason. And kick the fucking Terry stop bullshit out of it entirely. And then we simply from there would do obviously stand your ground 2 better way as well too for that matter. So anyway, but going back to what Dorn were saying about that piece of shit Matt Hoffman, that's what it was.
A leadership out of the guy. You got a guy who refuses to meet and talk about serious issues at the outset of every General Assembly. What else? What else do we know about Matt Hoffman on other issues other than just gun policy to give people a full sense of who this guy is?
Well, I mean, he's the kind of guy that just generally likes to do the bare minimum to be what's considered a Republican and conservative.
So most of them do.
He likes to hide behind his very, very powerful friendships as an excuse to do nothing. And by nothing, I mean literally just either doing nothing or just maintaining the status quo, which is also nothing. So I guess nothing is the answer. But this guy,
like one of the big things that passed shortly after I moved to Ohio, moved my family out to start Ohio Gun Owners and everything. One of the big things that was controversial that the conservatives did something good on, and that all the liberal rhinos, voted bad on, was the gas tax. How did he vote on the gas tax?
Well, he voted for it, of course. He voted to raise the gas tax, just like all the rhinos did. This guy's raised taxes. I mean, just look at, all you have to do is look at any of the last couple government budgets that they've passed out of Columbus. I mean, they're literally, I know they like to talk about how they're simplifying tax codes and everything else, but they're spending more money than they've ever spent.
By the way, that's another thing. Ohio is a third of the size of Florida, yet our 2-year state budgets are roughly the same. Make that fucking make sense. Oh yeah, that's how you make it make sense. Because these motherfuckers are literally embezzling money on both sides of the goddamn aisle. Because they're creating bullshit ass fucking stupid crap. These fucking fake ass programs where they would simply install one of their buddies at the fucking top. And they'd be like, here's $200,000 or $300,000 fucking dollars for your pay for this thing for the next year or two. And then, here's another $2 million or $3 million for this fucking so-called like after school program or something like that's what it is there. Which again, none of that money ever sees the fucking at-risk youth at all, dude, for that matter. Because it's never be used to create no fucking what do you call those things now? I'm just forgetting the fucking word now. Youth centers, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah. It's never used to build youth centers, never used to do anything like that. It's just fucking a way for them to embezzle money and stuff like that's what it is, dude. And I'm like I said, in a true just world right now, tire chambers are gone on both fucking sides, and we start fresh completely is what it is. Which actually that was the third thing I went to talk about with the enactment of what I want to do with that legislation. That would be a actual state issue. That's what it would be on our ballot then. Is you would have step one, it would be one county, one rep, and it would be one state senator per four counties, what it is. So we get rid of 22 jackasses off the top right now is what it is. Secondary thing, all the current fuckery where they're able to just simply flip-flop chambers and stuff like that, that would be gone out the door completely. Because it would be like as soon as you go into one chamber, you have 8 years maximum, and you're completely gone after that's what it is. You cannot simply jump chambers. You cannot do any of that stuff. I don't know how it would be written, but it'd basically be something like that to basically say that, hey, you can't just simply keep, being a career politician, basically is what it is there. Also, on that same aspect of things, you cannot run for any political office in Ohio ever after that for at least 2 terms after that then. Will be another thing we'd act in that one. So it couldn't just be them going like, okay, we won't be a state senator or state rep anymore. Now we'll just go to some fucking random place and be like a county commissioner or be a fucking township trustee or be some fucking city councilman or some shit like that. It's like, nah, bitch, you're gone from political office completely at that point for at least 4 fucking years then. And then it would be after that they can't run for re-election in the state at a state level. Then it would be unless they're running for governor or like AG or something like that would be then. And then the third thing would be we would actually enact. God damn it! I just had it on the fucking top of my head now, and because I'm on that whole fucking diatribe, now I can't remember what the fuck I was gonna say again. Shit! I hate when that fucking happens, dude. I think it's because I'm hungry right now. Is what it is, and my mind is like focusing on being like just overly hungry right now. Is what it is. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. So back in 2014, when that piece of shit Kasich was reelected into office, before he went for reelection then, he had the 2013-2014 General Assembly pass a legislation that basically forced 2-party primaries in our state right now, where it's Republican or Democrat. You can't basically do any other primaries. What it is there. We would get rid of that crap entirely as well in that one. And you would have third-party primaries and stuff like that again in the state of Ohio. You would actually show that Ohio is not a red state or a blue state. We're actually a third-party state in most cases. And that way, if we actually do have the one county, one rep stuff, what you would have is you'd have, this 20, 30, 40, whatever it is, Republicans over here. You'd have like 8, 10 Democrats over on the other side there. And then you'd have like this 30, 40 person General Assembly that's made up of various third parties, whether it be Green Party, whether it be Libertarians, whether it be Independents, whether it be Constitution people, whatever the case is. But you would have like smaller caucuses of all these things that is there. And you would show that Ohio actually has like true representation against what it would be then. So, again, not sure if I can actually get that enacted eventually, but it would be something I would love to see happen in my lifetime, honestly, because, and by my lifetime, I mean like my very near future lifetime is what it is, like the next like 2 or 3 years basically is what it is there, because this is how you get rid of career fuckery in this state right now. This is how you get rid of the corruption in the state of Ohio. This is how you get rid of the fucking pay-to-play scandal pieces of shit across the board. People like Sarah Carruthers, people like Matt Hoffman, etc. People like Allison Russo, people like Casey Weinstein, all these fucking douchebags like that on both sides of the aisle. And where you're able to do what needs to be done for us, we're able to do what needs to be done for the state of Ohio and to make our state truly a good place again. And that way you don't have Democrats bitching about gerrymandering this and gerrymandering that when you don't have fucking gerrymandered bullshit here anymore, dude. And actually, I want to point something out too while we're here, because that was something else I wanted to talk about too, for that matter, which is you had some people dropping the issue 1 thing, this last issue 1, which is basically about the whole, the Democrats wanted to call it anti-gerrymandering, but in reality it was Democrat-only gerrymandering. This was the actual map of how people voted in every single county for that. 80 counties of 88 counties voted no on that shit, dude. It was only Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, Toledo, and the other fucking Democrat stronghold counties in this fucking state that voted yes on that bullshit. This, by the way, if we actually truly did see stuff with a 1 county, 1 rep, these 8 areas right here, give or take, for the counties and stuff, that would be what Democrats control at a state level then. Republicans would control, like I said, probably about 30, 40 seats, give or take. Then it would be third parties controlling everything else. That's what it would be then, dude. So it would basically be like roughly, let's say, 40 Republicans, 8 Democrats, and then it would be roughly about 40 independents and third party people is what it is in various chambers. Or various political parties, I guess is what I say at that point for the chambers. So yeah, it would be much better than it is right now, though, is what it is. So anyway, but going back to what Chris Dorr was saying about Hoffman and Barhorst.
They're raising fees. They're doing all kinds of stuff. They always shuffle money around. They might say, "Well, look, we lowered taxes," but they'll raise all these different fees.
Yeah, of course they will.
Increase cat taxes, permits, licensure fees, everything else to generate as much revenue or maybe even more than they have before. So it's these kind of he's the kind of guy that just likes to tax and spend.
Which, by the way, I do want to point something out too on that matter. Right now, Ohio's rainy day fund has over $1 billion fucking dollars in it, and these assholes are putting gas taxes on us at the state level. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Crack the goddamn coffers and lower the fucking gas, dickheads. And by the way, while we're at it, take away the fucking ammo and gun taxation in this fucking state finally. Because that's one thing that definitely needs to be done away with completely, dude. Seriously, I went to Walmart the other day, bought some fucking ammo and stuff like that, and I still was taxed for the fucking ammo. Like, what kind of sense does that make, dude? I am literally trying to enact my Second Amendment fucking rights in this country, and you fuckers are putting an unconstitutional tax on the one amendment in our Constitution that specifically talks about not being infringed upon. You cannot sit there and honestly tell me that taxation against a constitution-protected right is not a fucking infringement, dude. So
your money, of course, in a more increasing way. It seems like all the time.
Let me go make some food real
all
quick.
Right, Rob, I need you to walk people through this as well, because Matt Huffman had a lot to do with this. But the Ohio redistricting process, I think Matt Huffman has a very closely connected history with that. We have a big problem with the way the system is set up right now. Somebody got that changed to the way it is right now. Walk everybody through that really quickly.
Yeah, so this is more of a personal story with Matt Huffman, but as most of you know, I used to work at the Ohio House as an aide to former State Representative Ron Hood, who's one of the greats, one of the most pro-gun guys out there. But I remember one day in particular, this was probably back in 2018, 2017. I was walking the halls of the Senate building with Ron, and we ran into Matt Huffman, and Ron wanted to talk to Matt about redistricting reform, and because Senator Huffman at the time was floating this idea that we needed to pass a constitutional amendment to basically kind of make some concessions to the left on how districts are drawn, so that way we don't get something worse later. Which, of course, we know that the worst later actually did come anyway. Just this past election.
Just in full disclosure, folks, what you heard there is the tried and true political tactics of a political dumbass.
Yeah,
if you sit there and try to tell and convince voters that we have to pass this nasty thing right here in order to avoid the radical left coming in and passing something worse.
Shit, honestly, dude.
That is absolutely the dumbest thing that you can hear.
Well, it's fucking retarded on many fronts because of the fact that even back then, the time period they're talking about, you already had Republicans in fucking control of everything, dude. This is what pisses me off about the State House so much, dude, is what it is. You got these Republicans, like your Hoffman types, etc., that are cucking out like a motherfucker to a bunch of fucking nut jobs like Allison Rousseau, Casey Weinstein, fucking known Moms Demand Action members, Michelle Grimm, Rachel Baker, etc. Which, by the way, how the fuck is Michael Bloomberg, an out-of-state billionaire, able to put over $50 million fucking dollars into the Ohio races this past November, dude? Explain that shit to me real quick. Because it shouldn't be legal at all. The motherfucker doesn't live in the state of Ohio. The only reason he put the money in here is because his mom's made actual fucking cunts into power. Here's what it is, dude. And of course, they got some in there, is what it was. One of these fucking Dems that took one of the seats power down, that was a Republican seat before that, is a fucking no mom's made action member, is what it is, dude. She's an anti-gun fucking cunt. That alone should take her oath brick and ass fuck out of the General Assembly entirely, dude. Don't even let her take fucking certification at this point, dude. Don't even let her be certified as a state rep at this point. Kick her fucking ass out of the chambers entirely, is what it is there. And replace her with a better person, is what it is then. In a special election race, it would be then. Don't do some bullshit appointment thing, whatever, for Democrat Party. By the way, that's another thing we need to get rid of, is the fucking appointment bullshit. There is absolutely no reason why, if somebody is going to leave their seat partway through the thing because they're, be given like a congressional appointment or be given like some, like, let's say Trump picked somebody from here in Ohio to be like, secretary or something, or that's what it is there, and they would have to leave the chambers and stuff. No, it's not going to be some appointment bullshit anymore, dude. It's going to be we, the fucking people, having a special election race at that point, whatever the next election cycle will be then, whether it be May, whether it be November, whatever it is then. And we would simply have that person that wants to be a state rep run for fucking office and get voted into office then. Not some fucking BS appointment for another, 18 months or what the fuck they're going to be there for. Which is what happened with Chris Jordan's, the person that took over for him was what it was then, dude, after he died there. It was some douchebag fucking rhino that Hoffman and company went and found and basically replaced a 2A champion in Chris Jordan with some fucking Dick Stain party line rhino sack of shit.
Out of a state senator or out of a state representative, and this is the guy who wants to be the next Speaker of the House. So let's just pop this up here. Yeah, we've got.
Yeah, I'll actually show this real quick right now. This is Barhorst on the or Horst, however I pronounce the guy's name, on the left there, and then this Hoffman's piece of shit ass on the right. Or Huffman, I guess is how you pronounce it. So either way, it's just a bunch of crap in general is what it is, dude.
Matt Huffman there on the right. We've got Tim Barhorst on the left. And again, we're talking about Matt Huffman in our current description here, who subscribed to the political stupidness of passing something bad, otherwise you'll get something worse. So,
yeah,
right.
So
honestly, a lot of this,
which again makes absolutely no fucking logical sense whatsoever, because it's like, how are you going to get something worse, jackass, if these people don't have fucking power and will never have fucking power in the state ever again, is what it is, as a majority. Oh, yeah, it's because you're fucking retarded, Matt Huffman. That's why, buddy. I really, really hope that Tim Barhosh takes down the fucking shit tomorrow, dude. Like, fingers fucking crossed at this point he takes it down, but I almost guarantee he's not going to. I can almost guarantee you it's going to be Hoffman taking the fucking shit down for the next speaker's race there. So, and again, it goes back to something I talked about earlier with the whole $1 million thing, where you got to have at least $1 million in political backing bullshit and like all kinds of pay-to-play fuckery going on there is what it is to even get into that race to begin with is what it is basically in a real capacity. So I don't know if Tim has that money or not, but I would assume it's something where he just stepped up and was like, yeah, I'm not letting these motherfucking rhinos take this shit. That just outright is what it is. Which that could have been what it was, honestly. Which, by the way, I would have done that if I was in that fucking seat right now. I'd be like, yeah, we're not letting this fucking be a one-horse race. Go fuck yourself, dude. I'm jumping in this fucking race now, bitch. So.
Stuff. A lot of the problems that we have with redistricting right now.
Oh, I also want to point something out too. Going back to what Dora was saying about the Congressional Black Caucus, aka all the Democrats that are in the position of power right now, is what it is there. They're some of the most racist, black supremacist pieces of shit I've ever seen in my entire life, dude. At a state level, these people hate white people in this fucking state, which, by the way, are the majority of Ohioans. They are always bitching and moaning about fucking gun shit, being anti-gunners, yet they'll never actually admit it's their fucking black youth that are the ones doing a lot of these fucking killings in major cities in the state right now is what it is. So.
In Ohio, and thank God we just defeated their attempts to gerrymander everything to hell and gone in the last elections on November 5th. But a lot of the problems that we're facing right now point right back to and originate with Matt Huffman.
Yep. Yeah, well, because look, the process we had before, it was only a majority vote of the commission. Granted, there were still Democrats on the commission, but you could institute a 10-year map of districts based on the census. The 10th every 10 years,
right?
Based on a majority vote, which kept it totally in control of the legislature. To the system that we have now, where the Democrats can, if you don't get all the Democrats on board, you can only draw districts for 4 years.
Which is so fucking stupid.
And then also you have the Supreme Court has jurisdiction. So it's just a convoluted mess that we have now.
It's a bunch of fuckery is what it is. Which again, one county, one rep would immediately fix.
More wanting to totally redo how it's done because it's just so horribly done now. So we took something great, we made it worse. And part of the reason we have to blame for that is, at least in part, from Matt Huff.
Yep.
That kind of political genius does not belong anywhere near a speaker's gavel.
Nope.
In my opinion, that's absolute malfeasance and stupidity.
It's also dereliction of duty, by the way.
And the other thing that it shows is that he doesn't understand the enemy that we're up against.
It's also deprivation of law, too, for that matter.
Matt Huffman is playing for Matt Huffman.
Yeah, exactly. He's playing to fucking embezzle money.
That's just absolutely stupid.
If we talk about ideas for Matt Huffman, just look at the quality of legislation that we got out of the Ohio Senate when it comes to permitless carry and duty to retreat repeal.
Yeah.
We had some beautiful bills already that have been introduced for decades. Like real constitutional carry has been introduced in the House since the late 90s.
Yeah, 97 specifically.
No other than Ron Hood. This legislation was not new. It had been around forever. And then all of a sudden we get some legislation out of the Senate that's talking about who's a qualifying adult and this convoluted mess of a permitless carry law, and it just does the bare minimum. And then a bill that only when we have real stand your ground bills like House, what was it, Chris? 381. 381.
Yep.
That had been introduced for a couple years. And then we get a bill that only repeals the duty to retreat. I think this was just a slap in the face of gun owners, just getting the bare minimum.
Yeah, that was a particularly nasty one. Kyle Kaler was the state representative. He ran an amendment to gut the immunity provision.
By the way, Kyle Kaler's coming back into the General Assembly this go around because his rhino ass is able to get the power again.
Pre-trial immunity hearings to prevent what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse, for example, from happening to you if you were forced to use a firearm for self-defense. Matt Huffman went right along with it.
Right.
He choked down that bag of absolute disgusting compromise and then went out
Bag of
there and
dicks.
crowed about it like he was God's gift to the Second Amendment. No.
Yeah, just all that to say is, this guy has a record of
Anti-gun
doing the
fuckery.
bare minimum, not doing what gun owners deserve, treating gun owners like
Shit.
the kind of serfs to be farmed for their votes,
Yep.
and only to be pandered to at election time, not serious about passing real policy, and just being an overall choke artist in the Ohio legislature.
Choke artist my
Yeah.
ass. He's a fucking
I
sack
would
of
say
shit. With breaker.
that it's time to vomit that stuff out of the Ohio political atmosphere or climate. I think what happened on November 5th, at least on the federal side of things, was an absolute mandate that the old way of doing this stuff, the old way of protecting the political class, is destroying our country. It's destroying our state. It has destroyed our schools. And people who elevate their own personal power above everything else
right in prison.
have got to be flushed down the toilet of history.
Yep.
And when I look at people like Matt Huffman, that's exactly what I see. Somebody who is far more interested in maintaining his own political power than in actually advancing conservative policy or fixing anything.
Right.
And quite frankly, that's what I love about Tim Barhorst. If he is going to be the alternative to Matt Huffman, personally speaking, and of course, we don't have a vote in this, right, Rob?
Right.
I mean, this is a Republican caucus only.
Yep.
Only elected members to the 136th General Assembly, which is
bullshit, by the way.
In January. Only those people who just won their elections get to go to this meeting on Wednesday and cast their vote. But between those two, I think the choice is crystal clear. It should be Tim Barhorst. This guy understands that the old way of doing things is destroying our culture. He understands that when voters go to the polls and give our side, conservative Republicans, political power, when the alternative was radical left communism, that we need people to take that power and advance a conservative agenda, get things done.
Damn right. By the way, for those wondering what I'm eating right now, I got some pizza pockets at Walmart the other day. They're the Walmart brand ones. They're not actual Hot Pockets. Because the Hot Pocket brand was like, I think it was almost $1 a piece for a 16 pack, where these ones were, I think it was like $10 for 12 or 16 of them, I think is what it was. So it was actually, I'm trying to remember. No, I think about it. Yeah, I think it was, I want to say it was like 13 or 14 maybe for a 12 pack of the Hot Pocket brand. And then it was like $10 for this 12 pack of the Walmart Great Value brand, which actually tastes about the same, honestly.
In Columbus and in Washington, D.C., I look at Tim Barhorst. That's exactly the kind of candidate I see. What do you think?
I agree. I think that Tim has demonstrated that he's not afraid to get knee deep in the policy. He obviously, he's, like I said earlier, he signed our survey 100% when he ran for the House. I think he's a true. I think it takes a true believer to do that.
So I got to call out a hard goes on that one, dude. Your surveys are bullshit, dude. Fucking piece of shit Bernie Moreno signed that fucking survey where literally 5 years ago up to today, this motherfucker still has not rescinded his bullshit anti-gun stance and was like, I'm 2A. It's like, no, you're not, dude. You were a fucking sack of shit rhino who the alternative was that fucker Sherrod Brown for another fucking 6 years. That's the only reason you won, Marino, and you barely won the fucking race even at that one, you douche. Because you want to do stupid shit like fucking give descendants of northern, what was it now? I'm trying to remember all the dumb shit Bernie Moreno said in the last 3 years now, since he started running for office. Yeah, he wants to. One thing he said, I believe, was last year, and this was after I had actually endorsed the guy for the U.S. Senate race, and then I rescinded my endorsement because of this stupid shit that he did then, which was you had Marino go on record and say that the descendants of Northern Civil War soldiers should be given reparations. And it's like, hey, dumb fuck, Every single person that was involved in the United States Civil War, the first one, were all U.S. citizens, you jackass. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, you people really are the fucking worst, dude. You really fucking are the worst. So, and then, of course, Marino did some stupid shit talking about women and bodies and stuff like that. And that almost cost him the race, too. But that was about 3 months ago or so, give or take now. Where he's talking about, like, childless cat lady things, what it was, like, going off on J.D. Vance's whole thing, but, like, even worse so. So, yeah. Marino's an idiot, basically. So, I doubt he'll do anything in the U.S. Senate, but, you know, again, the alternative was Sherrod Brown. So, as I said before, you know, figuratively speaking, it's, you know, pop a vein and sign your own blood kind of thing at that point with the devil, you know, at this point. Which is me voting for Marino, obviously. So, I didn't want to do it. I really didn't, but I was like, yeah, I'm not going to let Sherrod Brown steal the fucking Senate seat again there. So, I reluctantly voted for Marino as what it was, but I didn't want to. And until he shows that he's actually a 2A champion in the next year or so, like, I don't believe a damn word out of that guy's mouth.
You know, obviously, I don't know if we've mentioned it yet, but Matt Huffman refused our survey every time he has run
Of course he did.
so far that we've been in that this group has
Yeah,
been
how
in
arrogant is that?
Yeah, he's refused our survey every time we've given it to him.
That's pretty much scumbaggery, dude.
Refuses to survey, refuses to meet with us, compromises on all the gun legislation that comes through his chamber, never leads on anything, even though we've had Joe Biden in the White House for the last 4 years. What did he do to stop that? We had no guarantees that President Trump was going to win this election. We had huge things happening against huge attacks being made on our Second Amendment for the last 4 years, and he did nothing to stop that.
Right, and not even not doing anything to stop it, but just refusing to go on offense in the ways that matter.
Right.
You know, he was not out there making press release, you know, having pressers about, you know, we need to push back against the, you know, the Biden administration's Office of Gun Control, or, you know, we need to make our own legislative office of gun policy that's, you know, to advance pro-gun policy. You know?
Yeah, it needs to be a fucking needs to be an uppercut and a fucking right hook right in the fucking mouth.
There's nothing like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knockout blows, dude.
And then Tyson asked, well, what about Tim Barhorse? Well, Tim Barhorse has been in office since a whopping 2022.
Yeah, 2 years.
And not in a leadership position. He's been a state representative. And quite frankly, I'm ready for that. I think the state of Ohio is ready for that.
Right.
These corrupt establishment types who've been in there, who make a practice of bouncing from chamber to chamber like a freaking pinball machine.
Right.
You know, they've demonstrated time and time again that they're in it for themselves, and you and me and our kids and grandkids be damned.
Yeah, I mean, look at people like, obviously, like President Trump. You know, he was not a political guy until he came down the escalators. You know, we talk about you know,
they got Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. These guys are not political. I mean, but they're teaming up to do some amazing things. You know. We've got our new U.S. Senator that knocked off a career literally a career politician, Sherrod Brown.
Yep.
You know, Bernie Moreno. I mean, he was not a political guy at all either. So, yeah, I think this.
Yeah, he also was an anti-Second Amendment dude, though.
Who just want to come in and actually get things done. They want to actually drain the swamp. We need to actually drain the swamp.
Yeah, the swamp isn't just in D.C.
No, there's swamps everywhere. You know, there's swamps everywhere you look.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is what the people voted for. This is what they want. You know, I mean, not even just here in Ohio, but this is a nationwide problem. People want the swamp to drain. I mean, you know, Bob Casey went down to Pennsylvania. I mean, there were even in Pennsylvania, they lost 2 Democrat U.S. House members too that had been a long time elected. So, I mean, this was definitely the year of the people rising up and saying, we've had enough with these people who have been in office.
So I'm saying it'd be nice to see Marin take down Marcy Kaplan's fucking 40-year demo ass.
That's what the people want.
That's exactly right. So, folks, that's our breakdown of these 2 candidates. Again, if you missed it today at 2 o'clock p.m., Jason Stevens, the current Ohio House Speaker, announced that he would not be running for re-election to that post. He, again, just won re-election to that House.
Right.
Seat.
Obviously, he'll stay in the House, yes, but just not run for Speaker.
By the way, just like Hoffman, it was a one-horse race.
I assume.
There's no reason even in there.
But, and now the race now boils down to these 2 candidates. We'll pop up their image here real quick on so you guys can see him. Tim Barhorse on the left, some would consider him to be the dark horse challenger, running against longtime establishment hack Matt Huffman, who has been engineering his takeover of the Ohio House. He desperately wants to become the first Ohio 8-year speaker. Right. Term limits. He wants to come right into the House of Representatives. I don't know about you, Rob.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking disgusted by the whole thing.
But if I was a state representative in the Ohio House who's been there for the 135th General Assembly and the 134th General Assembly, the idea that this guy gets to come over from the Senate chamber and just become the heir apparent, tell everybody what to do.
Yeah, it's fucking like king bullshit.
I find that so insufferably arrogant. I couldn't.
Just to expect a coronation, if you will. Of, people just bowing down and saying yes, dear leader, who
in the heck do you think you are?
Right.
And he doesn't have any idea of the workflow of the way people have been working, of the legislation that people have been pushing for the last, kind of several years. None of that stuff. He's going to come in and it's going to be his way or the highway. And again, this guy is well connected to the lobby. He is the top fundraiser. He'll be able to sit there and threaten, problematic right-wing conservative Republicans and say, hey, if you don't shut up and sit down, get in line with the moderate establishment wing of this party, we're going to recruit a candidate to run against you and primary you out of existence. I mean, that's the way these guys have operated for years years and years.
I witnessed it when I was there.
Yes. So, folks, it is, as my buddy Shane Turner says, it is time to be unburdened by what was. And
I think that's amazing. That is the theme of this. The theme of this election cycle. It's time to be unburdened by what was. That's
amen. Amazing. Preach it, our brother. So that's the situation.
So I don't know. Hopefully things will change, but who the fuck knows? We'll find out in about 18 hours, give or take. Because it's supposed to be around 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon is when they're going to be doing that vote in the chambers. So, yeah, we'll see if people actually tell Matt to go fuck himself, or if they'll tell Tim to fuck off. So, like I said, going that breakdown, I really want to see Tim win that. That'd be nice to see basically a second-term state rep take down a goddamn career rhino. But, again, unfortunately, we don't have the ability to pick these people, which I think we should, by the way. I'm sorry, but, it's the same thing with everything, dude. If we're picking presidents and vice presidents and governors and lieutenant governors and stuff like that, we should be able to pick, speakers of the House and Senate presidents and stuff like that. And really what it should be is, and if it's not going to be that way, then what it needs to be is it needs to be just the people in their own caucus, specifically, whether it be Republican, Democrat, whatever it is there. It needs to be just those people having a vote only is what it is then. No fucking people from the other side of the fucking chamber is what it is there. From the other side of the aisle is what it is. Because it's you're not the fucking majority douchebags. So. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hoffman cut the same kind of bullshit deals that Stevens cut and fucking make all kinds of fuckery happen there is what it is. Which is going to be really a pain in the ass if that does happen. And it would really bother the hell out of me at this point, honestly, dude. So, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. But by the way, if those interested who was calling me there, it was the guy who's buying the house. Apparently he was giving my number then, I guess. Which I was going to ask for his number the other day when he was here. I just didn't get a chance to, was what it was. And, I was calling to send me a message about, coming over this time tomorrow is what it is. So, that's good to know. I knew he was coming. I knew he was going to be over here tomorrow for the dude or whatever, but I didn't know if it was going to be that early, but that's fine, I guess. Need to call my chiropractor too here in a little bit. Leave a message on her machine and set something up for tomorrow as well, because I definitely need to It'll be an adjustment tomorrow afternoon is what it is. So, anyway. But yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, those Hot Pocket things are pretty good. The great value version. I need to go cut up that ham slab I got from the butcher shop a couple weeks ago before it goes bad and start frying that shit up is what it is. I think I'll do that here in a little bit, actually. After I get off here and do that with the rest of the French bread I got left, because I pretty much ate through 2 of those loaves in the last couple of days is what it is. I got like a chunk left right now is what it is. So, which I know I'm not supposed to eat that stuff because, as the dermatologist people keep telling me, they're like, oh, the worst thing you can do is eat bread and carbs and shit because it fucks up the psoriasis even more. And it's like, well, isn't that what the fucking, medication that you're giving me is supposed to take care of? Like, come on, man. So, yeah, I don't know. But either way, I'll be back tomorrow afternoon. Like I said, probably 4 or 5 o'clock, depending, sometime in there, to discuss who got the nod there for the speakership for next General Assembly. It'll be, and hopefully it's Tim Barhorst or Haas or I pronounce the guy's name. But I don't know. I just feel like Huffman's gonna pull some bullshit. Honestly, is what it is, dude. So, like, I just feel like it's gonna be more rhino fuckery is what it is there. So, I don't know. Like I said, we just need a political reckoning in Ohio completely is what it is, and it needs to be. It starts with 1 county, 1 rep. Honestly, in 2025, it starts by getting that legislation on the ballot and get it passed through, and get rid of these fucking goddamn career pieces of shit permanently is what it is then, and do what needs to be done for the betterment of this state and this country, honestly. And hopefully by tomorrow we'll actually see Marcy Kaplan no longer be a federal congresswoman. But given the fact that she's 800 something votes up on Derek Merritt right now, I am very concerned about that, because that particular congressional district is very, very hardline Democrat area. So I just don't. That's what I don't understand about people. Like, especially, okay, like, think about this, right? You're a first-time voter in 2024 at 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever it is, dude. And you're seriously going to vote for some fucking old bitch who's been in power twice your fucking lifetime. Are you fucking serious, people? Are you really that fucking retarded? Oh, yeah, that's right. Most of you are, because of the fact that you're like, oh, Dem no matter who. Then don't even fucking vote at all, you fucking assholes. If you're going to pull that stupid bullshit. Because you're part of the goddamn problem in this country, honestly. You're fucking commie asses. So, anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty much done with all of it, dude. I'm over everything right now is what it is. And I've had it with all of it, man. Honestly. So, I don't think there's really much of anything else I want to talk about today, but let me go ahead and check just to be sure on that one. Go check Breitbart for a second here. Apparently, Congressman Chip Roy is demanding that the Health and Human Services and DHS preserve records on missing migrant kids. So, for those that don't know, over the last 4 years under Biden's administration, you have had at least 340,000, I believe is what it was, children go missing across the border that were never seen again. So, if that's not child sex trafficking, I don't know what is, honestly, at this point, dude. It's really that simple. So, anyway, I'm going to go I'm gonna go game for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna go out to the kitchen and cut up that big old chunk of ham and start frying that bitch up. So it'll be so have that be the other part of my dinner tonight. Is what it'll be. So I love me some fried ham. Shit is good. But anyway, so yeah, it'll be a matter of time before I leave this place. Though it'll probably be about, I would say sometime in the next 2 weeks, I'll probably be out of here, honestly. I'm hoping to be in the new place by December 1st, honestly, but I don't know if that's going to be happening or not right now. But if it does, it'll be a pretty quick transition there. So, and this Scott guy that was calling me earlier, he'd be obviously he's a new owner of the place, or will be very soon as what it is, as soon as we can get this inspection done tomorrow, and then they write off on it, and they're able to get the actual mortgage through and stuff like that to be able to pay for the actual down payment and the money for the land and stuff like that is what will be there. So, and yeah, it'll just be simply after that would be me getting what's left of stuff to pack up and getting stuff packed up, and hopefully have my aunts out here for a couple of days in a row or something and get stuff done. The only issue right now, obviously, is that we've waited so long to do this that now it's basically as of Thursday there's supposed to be at least an inch of snow on the ground, and I'm just like, God damn it, dude, just fucking hold off for like a couple more weeks, for God's sakes, winter. Like, let me have my time so I can actually do stuff. Here's what it is. So yeah, it's like, wait until I move, please. Ironically enough, this is kind of what my sister was worried about a while back, was, you know, it being a situation where we're having to move me and it's like middle of fucking winter, basically. So, which wouldn't have been an issue if we had been able to get the other place back in July. And I could have just been living there for the last, several months and stuff now. But I don't know. That place, like in the long term, like that was probably not a good place to go anyway. Just because of just all the various things there as it was. And yeah, it just probably wasn't a good fit anyway. But this place I'm going to go now is definitely a better place to end up at, obviously. And like I said, they'll be close to family and stuff. And, it's literally a catty corner from my one cousin over there. So it's pretty good, actually. So we'll be able to do some stuff done, and I'll be able to go come springtime. I'll be the guy that's my landlord dude. I'll be able to go use the pond that's on his property there and go fishing when I want to go fishing. So that's cool. I'll probably do that every couple of days or so for most of the spring/summertime. Then just get out a chair or something like that, go over there with a couple of rods or something, and then like a packet of bait or something like that, and see what I can catch out of there. I know he's got several things in that pond. To my understanding is it's like got some bluegill, got some crappie, got a few other things here and there. So yeah, it should be a pretty good place to go fishing in then. So nothing else, maybe take a couple crappie, fillet them outside or wherever the rental, and then toss the remains or whatever inside of a thing to dump them out for the dumpster or whatever then, and then have some fresh fish or something like that then every so often. That'd be nice. I don't know if he'll let me do that or not, but that'd be cool. So it's been a while since I've had a fish fry. Last one would have been before East Palestine happened down at the farm, actually. So, which where the farm's located is not that far from East Palestine, unfortunately. So I don't know if that water's contaminated now or not. And I'm kind of fearful if we're doing a fish fry down there ever again because of that. So, because God forbid we're eating a bunch of cancer fish, honestly, or something. So anyway, but yeah, my cousin that I'll be living by, though, he was talking about my other idiot cousin that was staying down at the farm for a while, and the kid was out in the property lighting fires like every half mile or wherever it was down there, like random tree stumps and shit, like an idiot. And we're pretty sure he stole some of our fishing gear and sold it off. I know he stole some of my uncle's and sold it off, and I think he probably stole some of my rods too and sold them off. And I'm gonna be kicking his ass if that is the case. I haven't gotten a chance to get down there and figure that out yet. Or at minimum, I'll be like, "Hey, motherfucker, you owe me like X amount of dollars, what it is for these, so I can get replacements for him, what it is." Because the stuff he would have taken would have been, I know at least one of the rods was worth about 50 down there when I bought it, and that was several years back. Now it's probably more than that now. And then the other ones I got from Bass Pro would have been at least 30 a piece, then is what it was. So, and that was, again, about a decade or so ago, and that were still in good shape. So I'm sure those are probably more like $40, $50 now is what it is. So, yeah, I'm guessing at least $150 of the rods potentially you might have stolen from me, if not more than that, because depending if you took all of them then. I got a couple from Ollie's that were like $20, $30, and I bought those, and yeah, it's probably a couple $100 worth of fishing rods, honestly, if he did jack those. So I'd be massively pissed if that'd be the case, but only time will tell. I'm still angry that he took my uncle's shit, though, because like some of those were rods from like the 80s and stuff like that were still in good, like the 80s and 90s that were still in good shape. And at that point, not only were they vintage stuff, they would have been vintage enough to probably be worth quite a bit of money. Like, because I know my uncle paid a couple $100 a piece for those things back in the day. Some of the good, better ones it was. And so you're probably talking about rods that were worth $400, $500, $600 a piece then. That this motherfucker probably got like $50 or $60 for each one of them or something. If he's lucky on that one, he was obviously spent on fucking drugs as it was, like a dumbass. So, yeah, I'm fucking disgusted by his behavior is what it is there. Not to mention he apparently stole a bunch of other shit from my uncle's place and sold it off too. And yeah, I guarantee if my uncle was still alive, he'd be kicking my cousin's ass just for that kind of shit. So, which might just have to be the rest of the family kicking his ass, and is what it is sometime down the line. But, yeah, I don't know, man. But anyway, on that note, though, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Got some stuff I got to do. I'm going to obviously move around some stuff around here right now is what it is, because we got a few things that need to be moved out of this room and stuff into different rooms it'll be, and put stuff in different places what it is for tomorrow's inspection then. And then, yeah, basically just do what needs to be done then is what it is. And like I said, I'm going to cut up the rest of that, cut up that ham slab is what it is there, and start frying that bad boy up here in about the next 15-20 minutes probably is what it'll be. And have that for the other part of the dinner tonight, because that those two Hot Pockets were, or Hot Pocket knockoffs were, they were fairly filling, but they weren't as filling as they should have been, because I feel like my stomach's still being kind of growly right now is what it is after eating that stuff. Like it basically staved off my hunger for a little bit there, but not long term, obviously. So, and yeah, this won't really be an issue too much longer, because then I'll just be, when I get to the new place, like I said, I'm going to start meal prepping like a son of a bitch, and then hopefully by then I'll be able to get in much better shape here in the next couple of months is what it'll be. And my plan right now for 2025 is I'm going to try to lose roughly 10 pounds a month all year long. So if I can pull that off and I can have my my stuff be done correctly, I'll be able to have at least a good amount to where I can then, be down back to my, because basically from all the processed shit I've eaten in the last year or so, I pretty much have gained at least 70 pounds in the last year. So if I can at least take that off in the next 7 months, I'll be back to my original weight pretty much. And then it'll be, if I drop another 50 pounds on top of that, then throughout the rest of 2025, then I would be at least 50 pounds down from my original weight. And I'd be in the, I believe, high 300s it'll be then instead of high 400s like I am right now is what it is. So yeah, I'm getting, unfortunately, I'm inching closer to what my weight was when I was in my teenage years, which is not good, because I don't want to be back in the fives again is what it is. because then that was basically, you know, that's the last thing I wanted to do was be back there. But yeah, I realize now, like, Mom really was a fucking anchor for me, dude. Like, she, with her way she was cooking around here all the time, like, she knew what she was doing and was able to give us better meals and stuff. And, you know, yeah, I had a little bit of processed food here and there and stuff, but not anywhere near what I've been eating lately. That just, again, like, and it goes back to even the RFK thing, like, that dude needs to get in there and just start yanking these fucking corporations and stuff for the crap they're putting in our food supply that's making us overweight and stuff. Because I'm living proof of that right now, dude. I can tell you firsthand, like, exactly what it is that's making me overweight, and it's not good shit, man. So, and again, the sad part is it's a lot of convenient shit is what it is. It's not that I want to be eating this crap, but it's like, it's so much like I told my cousin the other day, I said, it's so much easier to go out there, you know, like I just did during the stream, grab a fucking couple of Hot Pockets or Hot Pocket variants is what it is there, throw them in the fucking microwave and munch them on stream or whatever in like about 10, 15 minutes or so, give or take. Versus, you know, going out there and making like an actual meal and stuff, which would probably take almost an entire stream to do that, obviously. So, yeah, it's just not good, man. But it's something that definitely needs to change, and it's something that hopefully will change very quickly, and it won't be an issue come next year. Then I'll be able to actually start doing real meal prep. Then is what it is, and I'll be able to get my stuff done correctly. And like I said, hopefully I'll be able to do what's better for me is what it is, and finally be unburdened by a bunch of extra weight that doesn't need to be is what it is then. So, and if that is the case, I can actually, you know, like I said, do what I need to do to get ahead is what it is then. And, you know, hopefully it'll be better for everyone in the long run. I can actually start running for office on a, you know, much more healthy kick is what it is then. So, yeah, it all depends, man. But the entire point of the matter is, it's like just even, you know, getting my shit together and being able to get, you know, everything ready to roll out is what it is there is the big issue right now. Because when it is all said and done, it is basically going to become a situation of, you know, needing to do a lot of things in a quick succession is what it'll be. And yeah, hopefully I'll be able to keep my weight off is what it is there. And just, like I said, if nothing else, I'll be able to get a better caloric intake is what it is. Because I know when I was eating the salads not long ago, and that's one thing I definitely need to do tomorrow is go back to the deli / produce place that I go to every so often. Go pick up a couple heads of lettuce is what it is tomorrow from my uncle when I go to my chiropractor, and then go from there basically. Because one thing I noticed is that with everything else, I do get boosts of energy from that for sure, that lettuce and stuff. Whereas this processed stuff is, you know, it just kind of sinks into you and makes you a lot more fatigued and everything else you don't need to be. And I think if nothing else, if I start getting, you know, more leafy greens in my system again and stuff like that and do what needs to be done there, I can definitely have a lot more energy to do stuff. And then if nothing else, I'll be able to have more energy to actually maybe even start working out a little bit here and there and be able to get weight down that way as well. And then have it be a whole thing. And pretty much my plan for 2025 is going to be starting in early January. I will basically, or maybe even in the next month for that matter, it'll be I'll be doing a weight loss journey kind of thing on either this channel or on my Rumble channel, where it's, you know, I figure out exactly what my starting weight is then from one of my appointments and stuff like that. And then nothing else, like figure out from there, like how much weight I can lose after that then, which I think unfortunately in this situation I would have to go to my dermatologist and have them ask them to specifically weigh me is what it is then. And tell them straight up, be like, yeah, I'm trying to lose weight here. Like, you know, if y'all could help me, like, you know, prove that I'm not, you know, gaining a fuck ton of weight here. Like, show me exactly what my weight is right now so I can actually have like a goal of what I can start knocking down then. Because the problem is that most scales that are on the market right now, they're not good Like they don't do weight the way they need to. And for people like me, it's like a lot harder to do our stuff because it doesn't go up to the weight that we're actually at right now is what it is. And so you basically have a situation there where it's like, yeah, you can say you're like 320 pounds over it is or something like that. But in reality, you're like 100 pounds heavier than that because you're already maxing out is what it is then. So yeah, my whole thing is like, I definitely want to be in a situation where I'm actually better off than is what it is and do what needs to be done, etc. So, okay. So the one lines we crossed tomorrow is going to be 5 a.m. The other one's going to be 8 a.m. So that's good. That's good. So it'll be right before the guy gets here then. I'll be done with all that shit. So, all right. Well, that's good to know. At least we know that now. So it won't be too much of an issue then going forward, but whatever. Anyway. But yeah, like I said, I definitely want to get back on a journey of making the best me I can. 2025 is what it'll be then. And if nothing else, do it for Mom's legacy is what it is, because she always wanted me to lose weight and be a lot more healthy. And unfortunately, she never got to see that come to fruition. And yeah, I know I'm definitely getting worse and worse. And I know exactly what it's from, unfortunately. And it's, like I said, it's very hard to, change things if you don't have the ability to do stuff. And moving into the new place, it'll be so much better off, I think, because I'll be able to actually hold my Tupperware around there that I can start, pulling out and actually using to do meal prep with. That's what it is then. And I can just start, like I said, make a bunch of chicken and stuff like that every so often and a bunch of other stuff like that's what it is. And just do the shit. So it's like super healthy basically. And obviously make a bunch of salads and stuff like that too, for that matter. And yeah, just start, getting the A1C level down, taking down the, getting like a better caloric intake going on, eat a lot more fresh fruits, a lot more fresh vegetables, etc. And just basically do a bunch of meal prep is what it is. And hopefully by then I'll be able to, sometime down the line say I'm, much better off. That's what it is. And if that be the case, then it'll be awesome. Because I could then, actually do what needs to be done then and make a better life for myself is what it is. So, and my family. But anyway, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. So, like I said, fingers crossed I can do something and make a better existence for myself in the next year. Here's what it is. And if that be the case and I do that, like, it'll be better for everyone, I think, because I'll be able to live on this earth a lot longer then. And it won't be an issue where it'll be, me dying of just excessive weight and everything like that in the next couple of years or something. So, because after everything's said and done, like I realized, with this past election cycle, I do want to live and I have a lot to offer this world. And unfortunately, a lot of people can't say that, whereas I actually can say that and be legit about it. And I think it's going to be better in the long run with me being a lot thinner than I am right now. And I think nothing else, like it'll be able to help my joints a lot better too, for that matter, if I'm a lot thinner as well. So yeah, it's basically just a matter of time to get all this done. And like I said, hopefully I'll be able to be the best me in 2025 is what it is. And if nothing else, like going into 2026, even if I don't, take down a seat of power, I'll at least be a much thinner version of myself then. Obviously, the only issue there would be if I do lose too much weight, then it would just be a whole thing of having to, do like a GoFundMe or something like that to get like skin removal surgery or something like that. That's what it would be, because, unfortunately, this is what I think is messed up too, is that you have these people that will go out there and do like various like weight loss surgery stuff or whatever it is, but yet they don't cover like the skin removal surgeries and stuff like that because it's considered a quote unquote cosmetic procedure, which is so fucking stupid, because it's like, no, it's not, dude. It's literally you're cutting off like, 10, 20, 30 pounds of excess skin on someone's body so they're not carrying around a bunch of fucking dead weight, literally. Like, how the hell is that a cosmetic procedure, dude? It's to literally make their health better, you jackasses. So that is one thing that bothers me about the big pharmaceutical industry and stuff like that, and just the medical industry entirely is what it is there. Is they don't cover stuff like that when they need to, is what it is. So, I mean, technically, I could probably go if I wanted to. I could go with that. What is it, Ozempic or whatever they have it now? I forget what the one thing was that people were taking. That's like not supposed to be weight loss medication, but it's like makes you basically not want to eat. But then it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna go down that road, dude, because again, it's like I could just as easily lose a bunch of weight eating the right stuff than fucking going out there and just not eating at all, kind of thing is what it is, and that would be stupid. So, but anyway, yeah, unfortunately, people are dumb like that, and they want to take the magic pill, if you will, instead of actually doing the work, is what it is. So, and that's not how it needs to be, bro. You need to take the shit, is what it is, and do what needs to be done. So. It's not just some magic pill thing. It's going to be for the betterment of everyone, and you do what needs to be done to get things done there. And it starts with you actually doing the work, putting the work in, which, like I said before, I'm willing to do. It's just, getting to a place where I can do it is what it is. And it'll be, as soon as I move out of here and get in a new place, I'll be able to start unpacking for the long haul and be able to have the stuff ready to move around and whatnot. So, but anyway. So yeah, on that note though, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day on this one. And like I said, hopefully tomorrow we will get a better speaker here in Ohio for the next General Assembly. But it all depends if people actually decide to vote for who's going to be second term state rep, Tim Barhost, or if it'll be sack of shit, Matt Hoffman, fucking rhino scumbag. So I hope they don't vote for Hoffman's ass, or I think it's Hoffman actually. I hope they don't vote for Matt's ass because, dude, it'll be so much worse underneath that scumbag. Like, we don't need that in Ohio, dude. We don't need career sacks of shit fucking us all over and doing nothing except making themselves richer and everything else like that. So, and all kinds of embezzlement crap, whatever it's going to be then. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Only time will tell. And hopefully people are smart enough to be like, yeah, fuck Matt's ass. It's going to be Timmy's time now. So, only time will tell, though. I don't know if Honda's doing a stream later tonight or not. I know he said something last night on Matt's stream about NEA, obviously, about possibly going to play MTG with his friends and stuff like that tonight. So I don't know if he'll do that or not, or if he'll be here to actually do a stream in an hour or two. So we'll find out here momentarily. I'll go check the Discord and go from there. But I'm not going to do another stream tonight, though. I'll tell you that right now. I'm already tired enough, and I got to do some stuff here in the house to move some things around to put some stuff where it needs to be put, basically. So I can be unburdened by what was. By the way, for those who don't know about that one, that unburdened by what has been bullshit that Kamala kept pulling all the time, that's directly out of the fucking communist playbook, dude. Like, it's a direct quote from communism crap. So, yeah, that bitch is a fucking commie piece of shit, honestly, in general. But, yeah, I know that they, with Biden basically giving the go-ahead to Ukraine to do stuff now, I guess there's talk going around that there's articles of impeachment being drafted against Biden now, and it's like, well, you better fucking do Kamala too, people, because she's just as bad. And she was just as much involved in that shit, honestly. So you gotta remove them both in one shot, motherfuckers. Because if you don't do that, then all you're doing is basically giving this bitch the fucking keys to the castle at that point. and she'll do just as much terrible shit then. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm fearful for what's going to happen in this country in the next couple of weeks, is what it is, before obviously Trump would take power again. And I don't like what I'm seeing right now, is what it is from everybody. So it's like, if we're going to do one thing, you got to do it all, man. Got to kick both these fucking criminal cheaters out, is what it is, at one shot. So if you're going to draft articles against Biden, you got to draft articles against Kamala too, man. And boot them both out. Nothing else. That means you get. Truthfully, what needs to happen here is it needs to be a two-pronged attack, basically. You need to do articles against both of them at that point, and then you just simply have Johnson take over as the quote-unquote president. But in reality, what it's going to be is that he would simply install Trump then, a couple months early is what it would be then, like about a month or so early, give or take. And then you would have Johnson step down then, because technically Johnson would be 47, Trump would be then 48 is what it is then. Or I guess technically Johnson would be 46 because he'd be the true 46th president then. And then you'd have Trump still be 47 is what it is, because we can just asterisk Biden's ass out of there entirely. That's what it would be. And then you could have, like I said, Johnson just simply gives the reins back to Trump at that point then, a month or so early. And then you would simply have Trump then, again, just choose JD for his vice president. That's what it is. So, which is how it might need to happen, honestly, at the end of the day, because nothing else. Like, we all know for a fact Democrats ain't going to give up power willingly. These people that actually did win legitimately. So it would have to be them basically seizing the power back by force at this point, I think. So, which unfortunately is not really the way to do it, but if it's the only way that's going to be done, like, you got to do what you got to do, man. At that point, honestly, you got to take back this country by force, if that be the case then, and make this nation truly great again for everyone. So, and make sure we're not in fucking World War III by the time, January 20th comes around then. Because really what it needs to be is, it needs to be a situation where Trump can take back power quick enough to where he could basically then be the president of the country and be able to have a legit ceasefire between Ukraine and Russia at that point. So it's not Putin doing nuke shit or whatever the case be, and nothing else, like, figure out a way to, like, shut down our fucking missile systems or whatever the case be for me and be able to shoot into Russia is what it is then. Which I'm not sure they would have the technology to tell me to do that, because it'd be like almost like a backdoor code or something probably. But I mean, I would think you would, because, why wouldn't you have that technology available to you as like a potential safeguard in place and shit? So if you didn't, it'd be kind of stupid, honestly. But anyway, I don't know. Only time will tell on that one. But like I said, I would like to see something like that happen, honestly, here in the next couple of weeks is what it is then. And then basically you just have our nation be made whole again is what it is then, and nothing else. Then you got, it's not going to matter come January 20th, because you would just simply have, actually, I don't know. Technically, like, because I think that would almost be a, what do you call it now? That would be almost like setting like a weird case precedent too, for that matter. So I'm not so sure that you would even have a necessary inauguration be needed then, if Trump's already in office then. So, like, I'm thinking to myself right now about that. I'm like, would they even need to have an inauguration come January 20th if he's already the technical, president, when he would just become president again? That's what it would be. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm sure some legal expert out there would be able to tell me about that whole thing and be like, oh yeah, this is like legit or whatever then. So I don't know, man. But it's, like I said, whatever needs to happen, and it needs to happen very quickly is what it is then. And it's basically stopping the Democrats from destroying this country and every other country for that matter, and fucking nuclear winter is what it is. So, but anyways. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Ohio Speaker's race tomorrow, if it's Tim Barhorst or if it's Matt Huffman. So hopefully it'll be Timmy, but again, only time will tell if all the Republicans in the General Assembly want to back a good dude or they want to back some dickhead. So I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see, but Yeah, one thing I do know is that our nation is pretty good right now when it comes to what's looking like it's going to be a good place in 2025. But again, we got to make it to 2025 to make that happen. Obviously, just saw a thing on Twitter there. It was talking about that piece of shit, Sonny Hostin, on The View this morning. I guess had to make a legal note that Matt Gaetz has not done anything wrong. That's pretty funny. So. Yeah, here you go. InfoWars 7 hours ago. World War III alert. Republican leaders call for Biden's immediate removal under 25th in response to his insane bombing of Russia, unconstitutional act of war. Again, Kamala is just as much involved, dude. Like, you got to remove them both, dude. It's got to be one shot go. Huh. People are talking about this chick with her makeup here. I'll put this on our X page. There's what it is. It's talking about no makeup versus makeup. Yeah, she actually looks better without makeup on, dude. I mean, the lipstick after the fact is pretty good looking, but with the exception of that, like, yeah, she looks better just like walking around the house basically with no makeup on at all. That's the problem with some chicks. Like, they're already decent looking and they just like think they need to like enhance their beauty is what it is, but in reality, you're actually making yourself look worse is what it is. Versus some of these females out there that look like fucking crack whores or meth heads or whatever to begin with, and then they turn into like a 10 or 12 at that point when they got the fucking makeup on. It's like, yeah, it's just deception at that point. And that's one thing where I would actually like to see some kind of laws in the books in this country where if you're going to be deceiving people like that, you should be able to be sued and stuff like that. Because, for guys out here, like, we're not sitting there putting like, kicking our fucking faces in like 50 pounds of makeup. This is all us, dude, at this point, honestly. This is all Adam right here, man. This is no makeup, no filters, no nothing. So this is what I look like every single day, bro. Now, granted, if I, ran in, took a shower, cut my beard up a little bit, made myself look a little nicer and stuff like that, I'd probably be better off. But at the same time, it's, it'd be pretty much the same as what it is, more or less. People were talking about this little 90 or 100-pound chick rapid firing at a 50 cal here, and about her being a wife material, and it's like, not when she's shooting fucking $5 to $10 fucking rounds in like real quick succession, dude. Like, she's just blowing through all your money at that point. Yeah, I'm not so sure how many was in that mag, if it was like 5 or if that looked like it was more like 6 or 7 on that one, actually, in that Barrett. But you're talking about 50, 60, $70 being thrown out the fucking window. It's like, she better be paying for that out of her own fucking pocket if that be the case, bro. So, but yeah, I don't know. That being said, I'm going to take an IQ test one of these days soon. I know there's some free ones online here because I want to see what my actual IQ is right now to see how truly smart or stupid I actually am. So I assume I'm probably pretty much mid-range, but who knows? I might be a genius in something though. I know my basic math skills are very, very good, so I would assume I'm at least, higher than average on that one. But I don't know how that equates to IQ, though, is what it is, so who knows? Anyway, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Iowa speakers race tomorrow, going into 2025 then, and if we have another Rhino sack of shit and Matt Huffman, or if it's going to be an actual 2A fighter in Tim Barhorst. So only time will tell, and like I said, it'll be about roughly 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon is when that's going to happen for that race. So. Oh, that's great. Sorry, I just saw something fucking hilarious where it was this person labeled it as first day at work, and it was this dude who was like some like half-ass spy or whatever, and he's like dropping what I think is like supposed to be like poison or something into this girl's drink, and then he licks his fucking fingers to get the rest of it off. And then she hands him the drink to like get out the cough or whatever he's having, and he like ends up drinking a little bit of the shit then. So it's basically like super reverse spy or whatever then. I'm not gonna lie, it's just pretty fucking hilarious. So that's a great reason to have like. Actually, I would think truthfully, if that's supposed to be like some kind of like poison or something, though, like even just having that in your bare hand would be enough to like get into your system and kill you. So I don't know. I will say one thing, and this is something I talked about earlier on a couple different social media sites. Trump made one of the worst picks right now for his cabinet today, which was that piece of shit, Mehmet Oz. This is the same motherfucker who promoted transgender ideology for toddlers, endorsing cutting-edge gender surgeries for kids. He's also a climate fucking change hoaxer motherfucker who like talks about climate change stuff. He also has direct ties to Oprah's pedophile stuff, dude. So yeah, that was a huge mistake, Trump, and that was a dumbass fucking move to make. Making this motherfucker a director of anything at that point. And I forget exactly what the actual, it's some kind of medical stuff is what it is. But yeah, it's a huge mistake and it needs to be undone immediately is what it is. It needs to be telling Oz to go fuck himself. So. But yeah, like I would say about it's like coin flip at this point if Trump's going to pick somebody good or somebody bad at this point, honestly, dude, because I would say at least like looking at his first couple of picks with like RFK and like Elon Musk and stuff like that for various things, like those were good, obviously. But now you're getting into like the second half and it's just like complete trash, like after complete trash after complete trash, like the last 3 or 4 guys now. So not cool, man. Not cool at all. But anyway, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens though. But yeah, like I said, I should be back tomorrow around 4:30 or 5 o'clock probably is what it'll be then. To discuss the Ohio speaker race there. So but other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Stay safe. Peace out. Always be carrying. Always make sure to have besides, carrying a firearm, you should always be armed with a knife of some kind as well. So, which, by the way, you can pick these things up at Walmart right now for $5 a piece. And it's a nice little folder here. So, little Tonto folder. I like it a lot. I still need to sharpen the shit out of this thing the next day or two because it's not as sharp as it needs to be out of the box. And although that being said, most of them aren't, unfortunately, because again, you got to have, you don't know who's opening the shit. It could be, a teenager or an adult or something like that. And people are stupid and they can cut themselves with the shit. It was razor sharp, obviously, but at the same time, it needs to be a little bit more than it is right now. It should be able to, truthfully, it should be able to cut like into a piece of cardboard out of the box and not have to have like any resistance really. Whereas, the shit ain't even like razor sharp to like cut your fucking hair off your arm or hand or whatever it is then. So, but anyways, but yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So it does have a good point on it though. I'll tell you that right now. And that being said, the other knife I got the other day that I liked quite a bit was, this little fixed blade right here, which is a nice little Tonto fixed blade there. I like the rubberized handle on this a lot. It has a real nice grip to it, and I think the finger grooves that are in this are perfect for my hand, honestly. Like, as a big-handed man, like, it fits perfectly in my hand is what it is. And I'll definitely be using this in the future for something, woodworking or something like that kind of thing. Maybe like some bushcraft or something this summer at my aunt's place or something, maybe. So do it to make a little kindling or something like that, what it is, or something for fires and shit. Maybe do like an overnight coyote hunt or something like that at the place. So I know she does have coyotes around there. But anyway, it all depends. Although, just my luck, I'd be in Sasquatch territory too, for that matter. So it's like you just got a fucking Bigfoot coming up on your ass or something. I wouldn't be surprised by it, honestly. She has enough land down there that, like, potentially you could have some kind of cryptid hiding in that fucking place, because it's like, I think it's almost 70 acres or something like that. And I've seen some weird shit down there as a kid too, and it's like, I would not put it past someone to. I would not put it past like some kind of some otherworldly being, if that be the case, to, you know, have that as like a home or something like that, where they're acting like they're a fucking tree or something like that, and they're just like living underground or something in the fucking place or something like that is what it is. But who knows? But anyway, yeah. That being said, though, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day, and I'm gonna go see if Honda and them are gonna be doing a stream tonight or not. And if he's not, then I'll do whatever then, and then I'll just do some work. Then is what it'll be. And if he is, I'll be still trying to do some work, but I'm also gonna make up that that ham is what it'll be then, a little bit here. So get some extra dinner going and stuff, and go from there basically. So let's see. Well, I guess Muffin Top went live about 45 minutes ago, so maybe I'll jump into history if that be the case then. I don't know if Honda's even doing anything or not later. Let me go check YouTube again and see if there's a. Looks like Duke's live right now. Yeah, let's see if Honda has anything set for tonight or not. Nope, not seeing anything yet anyway. But then again, he does stuff every so often, like pretty close to the times it does anymore. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into Tactical's chat, go from there, and see what's up. So, but anyway. On that note, I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Stay safe. Peace out. And look for tomorrow's stream where we talk about the potential new Speaker of Ohio for 2025. And hopefully it'll be a good 2A champion and not a rhino sack of shit sellout career politician. So, till later. Peace out, everybody.